An overreaction Monday. That is where we are to begin the week. Tolos, welcome into the show. He's Diesel. I'm Cole Bryson on this overreaction Monday where we cannot wait for the overreactions to get better and better, Diesel, as we inch closer and closer to football season. Just around the corner, the wait. I know it feels like it's the dog days, and it is, but we are inching closer. I can feel it. I just looked on the calendar, and the Panthers play a real football game in like a week and a half, less than 2 weeks.
What?
I say real football game. It doesn't count as like a regular season game.
You know how many days it is? It's this many.
10 days?
10 days.
From today, right?
Thursday, August 6th. Hall of Fame game.
How about that, man? How about it? I mean, we are so close. I'm ready. We've got our high school football preview shows this Thursday and Friday. So coming up here in a few days, we're going to be talking high school football, Diesel. That'll be a lot of fun and a lot to get into. He's Diesel. I'm Cole Bryson. We are kind of dumbfounded. Like, what's going on in Chapel Hill? What's going on in Tuscaloosa? What's going on in Michigan? Where do you start? It was kind of a weird news weekend, even leading into today. I think the Tuscaloosa story is the most unfortunate.
Yeah.
Maybe if we had to rank them based on unfortunateness, if that's a word.
If only the gentleman at Alabama was a little more crafty, Cole, he could have gotten out of these allegations.
I mean, what in the world is in the water? What's going on right now? Let's start with North Carolina. What the heck is going on at North Carolina? Didn't we hear, was it a year or so ago, how Michael Lombardi was like robbing to Bill Belichick, Diesel, and how Michael Lombardi was going to play this enormous role and getting North Carolina back to being a prominent program, turning them into a professional, what they said, the 33rd NFL organization.
They said they were going to be an NFL pipeline, just sending talent to the league.
And now, all of a sudden, in case you have not heard, on this 27th day of July, this came out, this morning? Pretty early this morning.
My phone started going off, like 8 a.m.?
Yeah.
Like, bam, first thing.
Some big news on a Monday. North Carolina football general manager. And Diesel, we welcome to the days of now we have general managers being fired and placed on administrative leave.
Is he the first major GM firing in college football?
He's probably up there. There might be some that we don't know about, right? But North Carolina football general manager Michael Lombardi, a top aide to Coach Bill Belichick, has been placed on administrative leave by the university. I guess the title of this segment's Hold My Beer, right? Because Michigan's like, well, hold my beer, North Carolina. Then Alabama's like, well, hold my beer. Like, really bad news out of all three. We'll get to the other ones. But North Carolina Diesel announced on Monday that Lombardi's leave is effective immediately, but did not disclose any other details. The Tar Heels opened their second season under Belichick in just under 5 weeks against TCU. ESPN... Let's see. Yes, that is August 29th. That's the Dublin, Ireland game, Diesel. So Michael Lombardi, I guess, not making the trip overseas to Dublin. But the school's decision stems from a human resources complaint filed by a former UNC front office employee, a source told ESPN's Pete Thamel. And there is a pending investigation into the matter, according to the source, Diesel. Does this really shake up North Carolina football in your mind?
Well, it should. We really kind of have to wait and find out exactly what the human resources complaint was. I mean, I think we all initially go to, this was a female employee to whom Lombardi said something inappropriate. We don't know that right now. We just don't know that. It could be a male employee, could be the hostile work environment, kind of spiel. We don't know exactly what this is.
Jordan Hudson, maybe I'm kidding.
Came in and he was talking about the cut of her pants or something like that, and she filed.
Belichick goes to HR, right? Like, you could make up a lot of really funny stories, and not to make light of the matter, but it's definitely, to your point, a major firing from a major hire. Bill Belichick, Diesel, you remember over a year ago now when Belichick got the job, this was his first hire. This was his first major hire in Michael Lombardi. Decades, and I mean decades of NFL front office experience was brought in to help run the Tar Heels more like an NFL franchise. And not to mention his reported salary of $1.5 million per year made him one of the highest paid general managers in college football. And you kind of joked about it a minute ago. Maybe we're entering into a new era where we're starting to see, like you and I have hot seat conversations for coaches.
Yeah.
Now do we start having hot seat conversations for GMs?
You know, I think the best kind of GM in college football is the one that nobody knows their name. Like hardcores will know their name, sure. But do you really think that most North Carolina football fans could name Michael Lombardi as their GM? No. And that's how it's supposed to be, right? You want somebody behind the scenes. You want a number cruncher. You want a fundraiser. You want somebody that is not making these kinds of headlines.
Well,
and man, it's just another black eye because we don't know what it is yet. It is paid administrative leave. It's not unpaid. It's not a firing. We don't know yet what might happen from this. But regardless, it's not a good look. And you don't want to really know your GM's name.
And you know, I think of all the GMs out there, Michael Lombardi, I would say he was probably one of the more well-known GMs because
Agreed.
of his experience in the NFL. And I don't disagree with you in the fact that you don't really want to know who it is, but you want to have somebody. And again, we're kind of learning year by year what all the GM role entails. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, I talked to Jordan Sorrells, Diesel, the general manager of Clemson's football program, at their open house, their media days. And like you as a fan and you as media, you want to know what their job entails because we know how important a GM job and role is in the NFL. A GM role in the NFL can make or break a franchise. Like a good general manager can really make I think the Panthers are a great example and what Dan Morgan's doing. So obviously it's a little bit different at the college level, right? Things are not the same as they are. There's some similarities. Now, you said it, no allegations have been made public beyond the existence of an HR complaint. And there have been no finding of wrongdoings as of yet. Administrative leave is often used while an employer investigates a personnel matter. So we don't know exactly what's going on, like you said there, Diesel, but it's just a matter of this. Like, big picture for me before we get to what other programs are also in the news for the wrong reasons. Is North Carolina football, like, are they in no man's land right now where they're just trying to figure out how to become relevant? And, like, this doesn't impact what happens week 1 against TCU in Dublin. But at the same time, Diesel, there's not a lot of people out there that really feel like this program's headed in the right direction, even when you had an NFL executive as your GM.
There was a handful of North Carolina fans who looked at the hiring of Bill Belichick of like, oh, it's going to be easy for this guy, right? He's going to come in with all of his NFL experience. And yeah, things didn't go so well for him his last couple of years after Tom Brady left, but he lost a generational quarterback. Most coaches would struggle to get back up to that level immediately after losing a Tom Brady. But I remember saying, Cole, when this happened, that this was just a purely PR move for North Carolina and that it would blow up in their faces. And, you go back to this time last summer, everything that happened last summer with Jordan Hudson and, it's just a general speculation on how weird it is that like an 80-year-old Bill Belichick is dating a 25-year-old or 27-year-old Jordan Hudson. And then she's weird in her own ways. She's like an adult cheerleader. She's going to competitions and Bill's going to her competitions. It's just odd. It's just a bad look. And, if it works, it's an incredible thing. Right now, you're the program that can bring in the biggest possible names out of the NFL. But if it doesn't work, I mean, you put yourself farther and farther in the hole. And North Carolina had some good years under Mack Brown. First run, especially. Second run never really took off, but they had some really good times under Mack Brown, and then that is just squandered.
Yeah, and Drake May, like, they were at least competitive, like they were playing for conference championships, and they had a quarterback. They were competitive, and you're right. It's squandered, and who knows if it will get back that way. Let's continue the Hold My Beer segment, I guess. So we just talked about what's going on in Chapel Hill.
Yep.
Well, Tuscaloosa says, hey, guys, you can hold my beer. Robert Suttles, the content director for Yes Alabama, which is Alabama's NIL collective, was arrested during a Shelby County human trafficking operation. He was charged with soliciting prostitution after allegedly arranging to pay for sex during an undercover operation. He's not an employee of the University of Alabama. He works for the collective Diesel, Yeah Alabama, which, by the way, can we get some better collective names? Yeah Alabama. That's
not good.
That's a terrible name. Would they just come up with, like, they're in a meeting and somebody says, yeah, Alabama. They're like, oh, yeah, that's a good name.
Okay.
There you go. What in the world? It's an independent NIL collective that supports athletics. They did not workshop it. They didn't even ask ChatGPT. Like, ChatGPT wouldn't even tell you that's a good name. University made that distinction publicly. Alabama, though, did announce, which is kind of weird here, they announced that Suttles has been suspended while legal proceedings and its internal review continue, even though he's not employed by the school. That is the human trafficking sting, which refers to the law enforcement operation, not necessarily the charge against Suttles, but regardless of what the charge is, this is significant, Diesel, because Alabama's primary NIL collective that supports the university, well-known, also a former beat writer who worked for The Athletic.
Yep.
Diana Rossini's company, who, she brought great publicity to, and the Tuscaloosa News. So even though it's not a university employee, his role as the official NIL collective ties directly to Alabama, and it's a sticky situation.
Yeah, it's a bad look. I would understand why, Alabama would immediately just fire him, right? I mean, he was arrested in a prostitution sting. The evidence is pretty damning just on its surface. Everybody deserves their day in court. Everybody deserves the opportunity to defend themselves. I've watched enough to catch a predator on YouTube, those old Chris Hansen videos to know, like, everybody says, oh, I'm just a victim of circumstances. I wasn't really going to do anything. I don't know. I don't know what the exact circumstances of his arrest were, but I'm surprised they didn't just come right out of the gate and fire him. Just say, you know what, we're not even going to do this. We're just going to cut ties with him. He's gone. We don't believe in this. I think it's a bad look for this collective to hold on to him while the investigation goes on.
No, you can't. You can't do that. You got to just let him go. You're right. You got to let him go. And then the next Hold My Beer, if Michigan Diesel says, nah, we got one too. I mean, it's just been a wild weekend of news stories. I think we mentioned this on Friday, but it's continued to develop.
It has.
Michigan AD Ward Manuel now to get $7 million in a departure deal. Man, I'll tell you what, I never want to be fired. Let me be very clear. I never want to do anything, Diesel, that warrants me being fired. I don't. I do want to live a life that never allows me to get fired.
Don't want to be compromised.
Don't want to be compromising or giving our company a bad look, right? Or any of our sponsors. But if I ever got $7 million in a departure deal, boy, would it make me feel better about it. You know what I mean?
This is a story, Cole, that has gone back and forth like a game of ping pong, right? I mean, remember a couple weeks ago, the board said, we're going to investigate this guy. And then they had their meetings and they said, we didn't really bring it up. And then now they're saying he's gone. He's going to be paid $7.14 million to go away. That pays out or buys out the last 3 years of his contract to be the AD at Michigan. On top of that, Cole, he's going to get free season tickets to Michigan games, I assume for life, as a standard perk of a former athletic director at Michigan. And he's going to get golf privileges on the on-campus golf course, which is right across the street from the big house.
And is this guy like, what are we doing here? I mean,
and that's not all.
Wow.
That's not all. He's going to get $7 million He's going to get to play golf. He's going to get season tickets to Michigan games. He's also going to get a $108,000 contribution to his retirement account, and Michigan is going to pay his attorney fees of $82,000. Did he do something wrong or not?
So
this, what?
Sign me up, right? Sign me up. And so the school's basically buying out the contract.
Yeah, he's going to remain employed
good.
by the university until he voluntarily resigns on December 31st. His personnel file will reflect a resignation, not a termination. So, yeah, this is it's weird, right? And I know we have some Ohio State fans in the audience who I guarantee you have takes on this. We don't know exactly why he's being fired. Obviously, he was the AD when this whole thing with Sharon Moore went down, and how involved was he in that situation, if at all?
And so his attorney fees were $82,000, so they're paying that, right? So he doesn't have to worry about that. And then also the university agreed to make a $108,000 contribution to retirement.
What?
Like this guy. I mean, what is he doing today? You know, he's not worried about what he's got to do for work tomorrow.
Right now, he's not thinking about
My
anything.
gosh, I don't know of these three stories. Like, what in the world it's almost like we just had a wild dream, a wire-to-wire dream, and bam, here come these three crazy stories to lead the show today.
How is it after Michigan has just been through multiple ugly scandals? The Sharon Moore, before that, it was the stolen signs by Connor Stallions. They've just been kind of put through the ringer as a program that pushes things under the rug, that hides the truth, et cetera, et cetera. This to me is an even worse look. Yeah. Right? I mean, maybe Ward Manuel did nothing wrong, but the statement has not yet come out that Ward Manuel did anything wrong. They're not telling us why he is being bought out and essentially forcibly retired.
It's weird, but I've got one more for you. You think we're done? You think we're done? You think we're done? No,
Man,
this one's weird and sad.
I just want to know which G5 program is going to get hammered for all of this.
That's funny.
Because that's usually what happens, right? If something bad happens at LSU, Louisiana Lafayette gets the death penalty.
So, Diesel, this segment here is like just, hey, let's bring all these weird stories that's happened over the weekend to the show. And we've definitely had some weird ones with the Chapel Hill, Tuscaloosa NIL, Michigan. But let's go one more. And this one's very, very sad. But it's a big sports story today. A very, very, very sad story that developed as the day went on. Wife of Chiefs Eric Bieniemy allegedly shot by their son at their home.
Oh, God.
Yeah. The wife of Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy was allegedly shot by the couple's son Sunday night at the family's home in Virginia. Mia Bieniemy, 57, was hospitalized in stable condition Monday. Thank God. Police in London County, Virginia, confirmed that a woman was being treated for serious injuries from multiple gunshot wounds. Did not disclose her identity. Elijah Zion Bieniemy, 27 years old, was arrested and charged with malicious wounding, use of a firearm, and commission of a felony and discharge of a firearm inside of a dwelling, according to the London County Sheriff's Office. She was shot in the chest, in the arm, and you read this story and you just think, like, what in the world? You don't hear stories like this. And to add on to the crazy stories that we've been talking about in this very segment, Elijah Bieniemy, he's being held without bond at a detention center.
I'm surprised they're not paying him $108,000 in legal fees.
Right. And what's tough is what the family's going through, obviously, with the husband, Eric, and the wife. What I don't know is, as a husband and a coach, how do you go back to football? How do you go back to football when training camp's like now? A lot of teams reporting to training camp today, this week. How do you, after something like this, go back to work? I don't know. I think that's just it's tough to even think about. It's a god-awful story, and I just don't even know how you go back to football anytime soon if you're Eric Bieniemy.
Obviously, that is a deranged young man, 27 years old. You said his name was Elijah,
Yeah.
right? Elijah Bieniemy. Who
Terrible.
knows? Who knows what was going on in his mind? Thankfully, to this point, it hasn't resulted in anybody losing their lives, either him or his mother, Mia. This is tough. And, I was just looking up just out of curiosity, were Eric and Mia still on good terms? Were they still married? What was the situation there? According to Google AI, they were reported to not be estranged in any way. So, it's just, their house is in Virginia. He works in Kansas City. They were on good terms maritally. And this happened, man. That's awful.
Awful story.
Truly awful.
Weird way to start the Monday, the week, with what happened with the NIL collective in Alabama and Michigan and North Carolina's general manager. What a weird day. What a weird Monday.
Yeah.
Can we get back to normalization sometime, Diesel? Can we do that?
Let's take the awkward task of pivoting out of that.
Yeah.
And let's talk Big Ten Media Days, Cole, which start tomorrow. And we've never shied away from having uninformed opinions. Let's talk about our pre-media day uninformed Big Ten opinions before things get underway tomorrow in Chicago. That's coming up next. Oh, they got 3 straight national championships, Cole, and there's at least 2 teams, maybe 3, maybe 4 out of the Big Ten that we think could challenge for the national championship again this year. Big Ten Media Days starts tomorrow in Chicago, so we're going to start hearing from all the coaches, players. We're going to hear Paul Feinbaum make up a million excuses as to why the Big Ten sucks and the SEC is so much better. So this is all really going to get going in earnest tomorrow.
I hope we don't hear anything from Paul Feinbaum this week.
We will.
This is not his lane.
Didn't stop him from talking about Dabo during ACC Media Days, did it?
No, this is not his lane. He's going to have something to talk about.
The thing is, if you're Paul and all of us in this business, really, if you want to stay relevant, you got to keep talking. You got to keep putting content out there over on the stream at Sports Break Media. That's help me out. Brian Pettit. Brian Pettit. Brian Pettit wants to know, how was Media Day? Well, Brian, you're about a week late, buddy, because Media Day was awesome. 2 weeks ago, not this past week, because that was SEC Media Days. The week prior, ACC Media Days was awesome. Cole and I were there in Charlotte for all 3 days. Got to sit down with half the coaches in the ACC, a whole bunch of players. Things were cool, man.
Yeah.
Really impressed by Rhett Lashley, impressed by Tony Elliott, impressed by Pat Narduzzi.
I wasn't impressed by Pat.
Really?
They suck.
Oh, come on. I mean, Pitt stinks, but Pat's an impressive guy.
I don't know. That
big old ring on his finger didn't get you going?
No, that was the most boring interview I think I did. I am a Pittsburgh.
Here was my big problem with Pat. Pat, he echoed something that Rhett Lashley had said. I think he said it in the breakout room or something. But he said that the G5 shouldn't be involved in the playoff at all.
He did, yeah.
He said it. Rhett Lashley said it. That means a bunch of coaches think it. Not all of them say it, Cole, but a bunch of coaches think it. But yeah, Brian, it was awesome. It was awesome. You can always go back and catch our ACC Media Day coverage.
Did you
on the Odyssey app and everywhere you get your podcasts?
We talked about in the very last segment, something was broken, a piece of news by Pete Thamel.
Yeah.
I don't think I told you. I forgot to tell you about Pete Thamel getting mad about the breakfast thing. Did I tell you about that?
About Bill and the
no.
And
the breakfast. He walked over there. I was over there getting water. Pete Thamel walked over.
What did you do to Pete Thamel?
No, I didn't do anything. They were taking the breakfast up, and they closed it at like 9:30, something like that. Mm-hmm. He was not happy that he couldn't get any breakfast. He was late, and he was
breakfast was like 3 hours, Pete.
Yeah, he was busy, I guess. Too busy. He looked at me and he was like, "They're not serving breakfast." I said, "Pete, I don't work. I don't know. I don't work. I'm not the hotel staff. What do you think I am? I mean, I know I'm like a bum, but that was my Pete Thamel story for the week."
Were you over there bussing tables just to help out?
Yeah, picking up water and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That's funny. You didn't even tell me that story
about it. I forgot.
But yeah, like I said, Big Ten Media Days starts tomorrow. I know we have Matt from Ohio. He's a big Ohio State fan. Buckeye Mike is a big Ohio State fan. We got to have some Tolos that are Michigan fans, that are Penn State
We do.
Fans.
We have one in particular, and I'm sorry for. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for forgetting his name.
Yeah,
he calls in a lot, texting a lot during football season, as a lot of our Tolos do.
Not Crazy Ralph.
No, I met him a few times over at Burns. We have a few Michigan. Old big blue kind of guys. Yeah,
we got a few of them. So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the Big Ten. The favorites, I think favorites going into this year to make their way all the way back to the national championship game. You can never discount Ohio State with Ryan Day. You can never discount Dan Lanning in Oregon and Indiana. Cole, Kurt Cignetti was able to bring in another stud to play quarterback for him this year. He brought in Josh Hoover from TCU, who was an absolute monster last year. So you're bringing in a really good quarterback and you're giving him the Kurt Cignetti treatment.
Yeah.
I think that's another team, Cole, that has the ability to make a big time splash. Now they brought back 10 guys who were starters for Indiana last year. And then on top of that, Cole, they have 17 starters back, which means 7 guys who are going to be starting for Indiana this year were starters at other schools last year.
I'll tell you why sometimes, we in the media cast like unfair aspersions and predictions. Here's the vibe around Indiana. And look, I think we all, for the most part, certainly believe that Indiana can be back. We saw what Cincinnati did last year.
2 years in a row, they've been in the playoff.
Yeah, and winning the national championship last year, the talent evaluation aspect of it, and obviously them having NIL money to spend very much helps. But I think the stigma, Diesel, surrounding Indiana this year is really interesting, and I don't think it's fair. But I think for the most part, there's a lot of media members out there that are asking, well, can he do it 2 years in a row? I know he did it last year. I know he did it with Fernando Mendoza, who was really good, and they had a very good offense, a very good line, very good run game, and a good defense. And we give him all the credit in the world for what he did, but there's this mantra of well, can you do it again? And I think that's unfair in a way, but that's how we are as sports media. The Big Ten's tough at the top. The Big Ten's very tough at the top. Do I think they can be a playoff team? I think they can be a playoff team. We'll look at the schedule in a second. Yep. But when you have to compete for spots in the playoff against the Ducks and the Buckeyes and the Blue, because they might be in the conversation, it is a little bit more difficult. It's a top-heavy league, Diesel.
You look at, and I'm going to see if I can change your mind on that here. You know, the idea that in the Big Ten, you don't play anybody and you don't face any real competition until you get to the playoff. I looked up, this is in Phil Steele's magazine. Big Ten holds, let's see, five of the top 10 toughest schedules in America. The other 5 belong to the SEC. So how about that? Michigan has the number 2 strength of schedule. Southern Cal has number 3. Ohio State has number 4. Michigan State has number 5. And Michigan State has number 7. And Purdue has the 9th toughest schedules in America. And think about that. 9 out of 12 games are conference games. That right there is telling you flat out that the Big Ten is equally as tough. If 5 out of the top 10 hardest schedules are in the Big Ten, and 5 out of the top 10 hardest schedules are in the SEC, that right there tells you that this classic narrative that when you play the weak teams in the Big Ten, you're just not tested. That's not true anymore.
It tells me that Phil Steele's an idiot. That's what it tells me.
Oh, okay.
Because
so you haven't changed your mind.
No, let's look at this schedule, for example.
For who?
Indiana.
Okay.
Look at this schedule. This schedule is laughable.
Well, Indiana is not inside that top 10 toughest schedules.
Okay.
Let me see where they rank nationally.
24th.
24. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, top 25 tough schedule, but
there are 2 games on here that are tough. This is the most cupcake schedule I've ever seen in my life. And again, I don't mean that disrespectful toward Indiana.
Yeah.
North Texas.
Win.
Howard.
Blowout.
Western Kentucky.
Blowout number 3.
Northwestern.
Blowout number 4.
Rutgers.
Blowout number 5.
Nebraska.
Sorry, Dan. Blowout number 6.
And then they have their first 2 games of the year are Ohio State and Michigan. And I say first 2 games like where they actually have to try.
Average margin of victory through those first, 6 games, Cole? Average score is going to be something like 65-10.
They'll win a lot of those.
They're going to win. They're going to blow a lot of those teams
now,
out.
Look, they have Ohio State, which is incredibly challenging.
At home?
I was going to say, though, it's at home. Mm-hmm. And they're at the Big House. Yep. I think they can win that game. I do.
I'm not sure what Michigan's going to be this year.
No, we'll see. I think that's one of the games. Ohio State will be tough. Ohio State will be really tough. And I think at Michigan, I know that sounds crazy, easier said than done, but I think that's a winnable game for Curt Cignetti. All right, then after that, Minnesota. Oh, my God, I saw Minnesota last year in person. Horrible.
They're not rowing the boat. They're trying to bail the water out.
Oh, my God, they're so bad. Southern Cal. What is Southern Cal? I mean, what
off a bye week.
What have they been lately, you know? Both teams off a bye week. Then they're at Washington and Purdue.
Washington could be a decently tough game.
This is the weakest schedule I've ever seen in my life.
Somehow they're being number 24 in the country is a bold.
To me, it's more
bold prediction.
Flip those numbers, more like 42.
I agree.
I mean, that is an incredibly easy schedule
through this
compared to Ohio State, who has to go to Texas, at Indiana, they host Oregon, and guess what? Indiana doesn't have to play Oregon. I think Oregon's going to be a good team this year in the Big Ten. I really do.
Yeah.
So look, Indiana, are they a playoff team? You bet. Look at the schedule. You bet they're a playoff team. They're going to be in the playoffs, barring just a catastrophic meltdown, Diesel. There's no
That's
doubt
all that
about
matters, right? I mean, I have no reason to believe that they're not going to be at worst. I think their floor is 10-2.
Floor. This is going to piss off the Big Ten Ohio State fans. I just don't think this conference is really that good after you get through the top few teams. Like Minnesota and Purdue and Washington is doozies. And I think Indiana. Now, we'll see what the quarterback. Would you say the Josh Hoover?
Yep.
6'2", 200 kind of guy. We'll see. I mean, I think they're going to be good. I do. But they also had first-team quarterback or a first-team all-conference quarterback last year, right? So I think they will be a very interesting story. This conference is still going to be interesting. Has he changed the culture in Indiana? Yeah, sure he has. But let's not forget about one thing, Diesel. We hadn't even spoken these two words in this Big Ten segment yet. Dante Moore is maybe the best quarterback in the conference.
Yeah, I agree.
That guy's going to be – they're going to be pretty good this year.
I think this conference has some really good quarterbacks in it.
Yeah.
I think they do. Texter says – the Phil Steele is notorious for getting everything wrong every year. Well, not according to Phil Steele. If you look at his magazine, page 1, he says he's the most accurate. Says, why are you using that as the Bible? Let's be honest. Go back and look after each year what they predict and what actually happens. It's the same way you don't want rankings until later in the year. Well, Texter, here's the thing. It's the only statistical information we have right now.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows, but his magazine, if you believe him, is based on data, and it's based on a lot of crunching of the numbers. We're not going on vibes and wishes here.
Well, I'll tell you this.
We're not going off what we think and historical bias. We're going off what the actual numbers say.
Yeah, my response to Texter would be, I do use Texter Phil Steele's magazine a lot for roster information, coaching information, statistical information. Now, Texter, Diesel, and I form our own opinion based on that information, which is just factual information. You're not totally wrong, though. Like, Phil still does get things wrong.
Sure.
But when you say we use this as the Bible, I don't think, and you correct me if I'm wrong here, Diesel, I don't think we have mirrored our opinion on anything Phil Steele has said. I think we have always found out what like, for example, 41 points per game offensively. That's not an opinion. That's a stat. So we take all this, Texter, and form our own opinion.
And the stats are getting harder and harder to read now that there's such massive transfer portal movement every single year. I mean, you just don't know when you used to be coming into a season with 8 or 9 offensive and defensive starters on both sides of the ball coming back. You had a pretty good sense of here's how good you were last year. Add a little bit of a development spice to it, and now here's what we think you could be this year. And it's almost impossible to know what's going to happen by the end of the year. And Texter, just because the prediction doesn't come true doesn't mean that it was a bad prediction, because this is real life. This is sport. The ball's shaped funny. It bounces in weird ways.
To your point about the portal, I think the portal coupled with NIL has made it much more difficult for us in the media to be able to say things without convict. Or I think it's made our job tough, where we can't say things with conviction as much when it comes to a certain team, Diesel, because we truly don't know. Now, like last year, to Phil Steele's point, he predicted Clemson to be really good. Well, we all did.
Yes.
Josh Pate predicted Clemson to win the national championship. We all predicted Clemson to be really good. What I'm saying is, to the Texter's point, it's harder for us to sit here behind the microphone and say, well, Indiana, Josh Hoover, man, when he throws it to Tyler Moore, that connection, the portal has made things so tough with the lack of continuity every single year. You just don't have the confidence based on the data. And I think an aspect of that's fun, though. I think there's an aspect that does make it fun, that we just don't know what this team's going to be.
So let me ask you this, Cole. Does it change something if Ohio State corner Jermaine Matthews jumps a route in front of a Josh Hoover pass at Indiana? Does that mean that Josh Hoover is a worse quarterback? Does that mean that Phil Steele's numerical prediction is wrong? If somebody makes a play that is above and beyond, I mean, look, all of this, maybe it's our failing here, Texter, in this sense. You know, when you're talking about a legal proceeding, you have to say someone allegedly did something. You have to say things like the numbers suggest that this is the 24th most difficult schedule in America. We're not saying flat out, unequivocally, beyond any shadow of a doubt that this is the 24th toughest schedule in America. Yeah. That's what the numbers suggest. The numbers say that. And your opinion can differ from what the data tells you, but that's just your opinion, man.
Yeah, I like to, and I hope our Tolos do this too. I think fans do for I would say most fans, Diesel. I like to gather the data as we do with Phil Steele's magazine, because everything's in one place and it makes it easy for us to do that, gather data. Mm-hmm. I like to gather the data, then form my own opinion.
Yeah, you can agree or disagree with the data. That's fine.
For example, with this Big Ten, I'm telling you this, I watched Julian Sayin a good bit last year, and I watched Dante Moore a good bit last year. And for example, let's just go back to the texter with Ohio State and Oregon. Phil still has Ohio State to win the conference and Oregon to finish third behind Indiana. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I don't think there's a better quarterback in the conference than Dante Moore. Does that mean they win the conference? Does that mean they're the best team? No. Ohio State has a pretty good receiver out there in Jeremiah Smith, and Bo Jackson's a sophomore now. He's going to be pretty good, not the Bo Jackson. But Ohio State may have the better team. I'm just telling you from a Big Ten sense, Dante Moore, I don't think Diesel – it would be far-fetched to say come April, Dante Moore is the first name called in the NFL draft. If he has that good of – I just think it's very possible. He's that good of a quarterback.
These quarterbacks in this conference are really good. Dante Moore at Oregon, Julian Sayin at Ohio State, Jaden Mayava at USC, maybe. We'll see. I think he's pretty good, but we'll see what the results bear out. Damon Williams at Washington. Remember, he had that whole I'm gonna transfer after signing his NIL contract. And then Josh Hoover comes over to Indiana from TCU. 5 really good quarterbacks in this conference. Do I say all 5 of them get in the playoff? No, one of these teams is going to struggle somewhere, but they're at least going to get 4 in. So I think this is going to be a really good conference again.
Diesel, the weirdest, strangest baseball game I've ever watched in my entire life yesterday. The Atlanta Braves at one point had the game won, and then they had no business of winning the game. They won the game, maybe the strangest baseball game I've ever watched. Another big weekend for the Braves, plus some big breaking news pertaining to one certain player who's back. We'll talk Braves next.
The Fan Upstate.
Well, the Atlanta Braves win another series post the All-Star break. Diesel, Ronald Acuna Jr., the big news of the day, though, he's back.
Hey.
Now, for how long? We don't know till he gets hurt again, right? I feel terrible for saying that, but isn't that the truth?
He's back?
He's back for now.
Okay.
He's back for now. So Diesel, the division lead. Here we go, up to 5.5 games. The trade deadline 7 days away. The Braves took 2 of 3 from the Baltimore Orioles over the weekend. I watched all 3 games. I can tell you some strange games. Braves playing with fire, but especially yesterday. I'm telling you, I've watched a lot of Braves games. That game yesterday was maybe the strangest, most bizarre Braves game which I've ever watched, Diesel, where the Braves did win in 11 innings, 3-2, but the game goes to extras. The Braves give up a run in the 8th, give up a run in the 9th, tied 2-2, goes to extra. The Braves in the 10th have 2 runners on with like 1 out. Matt Olson gets walked. They can't get anybody across. You have the ghost runner, right, in extra innings. And then in the bottom of the 10th inning, Baltimore comes up. Tie game, 2-2. Baltimore has the bases loaded with no outs, and I turned it off. Because the game's over.
I did see your tweets. You were out. You were done. You were hating on this team.
I was ticked off. I was ticked off because they had the lead and they blew it late. They played with fire. They lost on Saturday night, Diesel, a very frustrating loss. And then you come back Sunday, and the bases are juiced for the Baltimore Orioles. And what happens? Double play, 2 outs. The Braves somehow get out of the game.
Liner to Matt Olson, and he tags up on first to get Pete Alonso.
Somehow.
Which was an iffy call.
So I look at my phone. I think, oh, dear God, there's no way. The Baltimore Orioles with bases loaded couldn't get 1 run across 90 feet away to win the game. Yeah. And then to make things even more strange, top of the 11th inning, guess who comes up and gives the Braves a lead? Austin Riley. Like, what in the world?
Silly
you can't
season.
make this up. Austin Riley, though, I'll give you these numbers, Diesel. How about this? Is he back? I don't know if he's back, but he's playing better.
Situationally, Austin Riley is hitting a lot better than he was.
Well, since the All-Star break, he is averaging 308 since the All-Star break, OBP of 357 and a slugging percentage of 564, a 921 OPS. So, again, a very, very small sample size, right? Now, the strikeout numbers aren't there, still high in the strikeouts. So we know that Austin Riley still has a long way to go, but he has some time and he's playing better. And I think that's a very, very good sign if you're the Atlanta Braves. And the fact that you get Ronald Acuna back, huge boost. I think this ABS, though, before we run to a break, I think this ABS, Diesel, may be one of the best things ever in baseball. Like, it has created a game within the game. Mm-hmm. On Saturday night in the Braves-Orioles game, there were back-to-back-to-back ABS challenges. Back-to-back-to-back pitches were challenged by ABS, and the Braves won all 3 challenges. Trump, who was a former Braves player, now catcher for the Orioles, he challenged 2, lost 2, and all of a sudden, why I love ABS so much, during a baseball game, which you want to win the game, right? ABS has created more opportunities within the game for fans to feel like they won. Like, I'm sitting there watching that game Saturday night, and Chadwick Trump's challenging plays, and I see this smirk on his face. Well, this Braves fan, I hope to God he's wrong. I don't want that guy to have a leg up. ABS has created this new game within the game where fans now can, like, pull against certain players and hope they're wrong. And I just think this is the best thing baseball's done in a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not say that all the changes that have been made over the past 2 years were not brilliant? I mean, because outside of ghost runners, I'd say basically every change has been fantastic.
And, you know, the thing with ghost runners is, like, I was thinking about this yesterday. Here's the thing with ghost runners that can sometimes work against you. You start out with a man on second in scoring position. Well, then Matt Olson, one of your best hitters, comes up to the plate. They walk him. So I think it still allows the defense, the pitching team, to walk a guy, whether intentional or unintentional, and it hurts the Braves in that sense because Matt Olson's one of your better hitters. Now, him being on first base is kind of pointless.
And it can set up a double play.
So it's kind of like, it's tough. It's still so much strategy. Luckily, I think it was somebody else later that inning that was the inning they didn't get anybody across. That was the 10th inning. But there's just so many nuances now within the game, and ABS is one of those where me as a fan Diesel, I enjoy these ABS challenge moments because it's just another opportunity to win. Well, it's fun.
And you finally get to feel like the umpire who is getting it wrong all the time, and that's what fans always believed, is getting what he deserves.
Yeah.
Like, you can get this feeling if the umpire gets shown up again and again and again and again, either he has to get better or he's getting embarrassed because he can't get the calls right.
And to make the weekend better, the Phillies lost 2 of 3 to the New York Yankees. So the Braves now have a 5.5 game lead in the division. It was 6 yesterday, but then the Phillies won. So a 5.5 game lead. And you have the Mets starting tonight. Feels like another winnable series for the Bravos.
Cole, when we come back and talk NBA and the maybe new precedent that LeBron James has set, taking $4 million a year to go to Philly to try to win a title. There are a bunch of stars who are coming to the ends of their contracts. And the question is, Cole, can I get you to believe that any one of these players is going to do what LeBron did and take the budget contract to go win another title? We'll chat about that. And Cole, the commissioner of the WNBA, is just getting blasted by everybody from all directions. That's next.
Fan Upstate.
The year, Cole, was 1997, season 9 of Seinfeld. George gets a job in which he brings a cane with him to work to make people think he's handicapped.
Like Lonzo?
I think Lonzo is actually handicapped.
Oh, sorry.
Well, temporarily handicapped.
Gotcha. Sorry.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor or anything. But when they find out he's not handicapped, everybody in the office hates him. And they try to push him out by being mean to him, by cranking up the heat in his office to make it untenable. And he says, hey, no way. I'm on a 1-year contract. I refuse to quit. They tried to make him miserable, but he wouldn't leave, Cole, which is kind of the situation that Kathy Engelbert, the current CEO or GM, excuse me, of the WNBA, finds herself in when reporters are asking her questions like this.
The New York Post. Adam Silver was asked last month about just your future as the commissioner of the WNBA, and he said he didn't know what you wanted to do. So I guess I'm just curious, like, how much do you want to stay the commissioner of the WNBA? How much longer do you anticipate to be in this role?
Well, thank you, Maddie. I do crack up how everybody's focused on me, and you should be focused on the hundreds of amazing women and thousands of women who run this league outside of myself. Our women owners, our women board of governors, our women GMs and women head coaches, and my whole team of, diverse women and men who are working hard every day to get the 30th season tipped off by May 8th. But I appreciate.
By the way, I didn't hear her ask anything about as a woman, do you want to stick around? But that was the answer. We have a lot of talented women around here.
Tipped off by May 8th, but I appreciate that you're focused on me as well. I wonder whether you would ask that of a man, by the way. But I realize as women, we get asked different questions than men do. But look, I'm so proud of this league, and I'm here, working really hard to make the 30th season our best ever, and to continue to build that sustainable economic model we know we need for the future. So,
man, it's not good when reporters are asking you, so how much longer do you plan on sticking around? Because Adam Silver has kind of called into question your tenure with this league.
It's one of those things where you could say she's in a lose-lose situation, and the WNBA, we've talked about it on this show. Does it have fans? It has fans. I see highlights on SportsCenter where the gymnasiums and arenas are packed out. Yeah. It's got fans. Does it have the fans that can make that league self-sustainable? We don't know yet. I think we're still in the process of finding that out. I know that I think, Diesel, there is a lot to be said about the market that you're in, that you live in. The Greenville-Spartanburg market, is it a big WNBA market? Nah, I don't think so. Is Los Angeles a better WNBA market? Maybe so. Indiana, maybe so, right? Reasons for that, obviously, with the teams being there. I just say that to say I think she might be, and anyone who comes into this position might be in a lose-lose situation with all the things the WNBA has going on right now.
Well, it's the refusal to do anything about the hard fouls on Caitlin Clark. It's the you get brought on one of the biggest sports talk shows, and legacy media members wants to bring you on the show to talk about, and you ghost him. You just don't come on the show.
I forgot about that. Who was
cancel
that?
At the last minute. It wasn't Rich Eisen, was it? It was Dan Patrick.
Dan Patrick. Yeah,
and,
I forgot about that.
Just said no.
He was too busy.
Backed out at the last minute, and it's really not that hard, Cole. Start doing things that service your fans.
Yeah,
like start. There's a word for it. It's called fan service for a reason. You do the things that are going to make your fans happy. And just go down that road.
Let me say this. Let me rebuttal you by saying maybe let me disagree with you. Maybe she is not trying to add new fans. Like the servicing of the fans part, do the hardcore WNBA fans have a problem with her? I don't know. I think the people who have a problem with her are those of us like me and you, who
outside of the fandom
would like to be a fan, but we can't. I just can't do it. I haven't watched a single WNBA game this year.
Well, you got to grow, right? If you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why NASCAR moved from being basically a fairly insular Southern sport that had most of its racetracks in Virginia, North Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, to, hey, let's put tracks over in Indiana. Let's go to Texas. Let's go to
Downtown
California. Let's
Chicago.
go to downtown Chicago, right? You're always trying to grow. You're always trying to pick up new fans. And you know as well as I do, Cole, this league is not profitable. And you have to have new fans if you want things to be profitable. And if you and I, and again, I fully admit that I only pay attention to the WNBA when something controversial happens. I don't pay attention for the competition. I genuinely don't believe that it is necessarily phenomenal competition. Some of you may. I mean, I watch Angel Reese just brick shot after shot after shot. I watch just the flinging of the ball up there and hoping that it goes in sometimes. That's not all the time. I agree that some of these athletes are really, really good. But when I tune in, I see bad basketball. I don't see great basketball.
Well, I think
and to be fair, I tune into men's basketball and I see bad basketball sometimes there too.
Yeah. And I think the hard part with the WNBA, we've talked about this before, is that we do have a side-by-side comparison of men's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And we think, according or compared to men's basketball, this product's not anywhere close.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for women's basketball, the WNBA is a very good product. If you are only watching if you're only watching women's basketball,
mm-hmm.
it's a good product. But the problem is we can't compartmentalize it. We have this other product in men's basketball and NBA that we compare it to. And is that fair to the WNBA? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Sorry for the internet issues for those on the stream. I'm glitching big time over here. Like once
That's
every
strange.
Yeah, look at that. Well, look, I mean,
No, Cole's actually moving like that. That's the funny thing.
that would be a cool skill, wouldn't it? That would be a cool skill. I don't know. I'll refresh for whatever reason, sometimes the internet on this side will just go and it's doing that right now. So
you gotta whip those hamsters into shape, man. You gotta get them running fast. They have no relationship or a fairly poor relationship with the commissioner of the league. Now, do we need the commissioner to be buddies with the stars in the game? No, but it's kind of a bad look if they're not, right? Like I expect Adam Silver to be on cordial terms with LeBron James, with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
I expect that to be the case. I don't expect them to always get what they want when they go beg the commissioner for a foul call or whatever it may be, but I expect them to be on good terms. And when you're telling me that the biggest stars in the game are not on good terms with the commissioner, that tells me, well, there's something wrong with this commissioner. And this commissioner is not doing what she needs to be doing to maximize her role as commissioner of the league. So
a little bit of a disconnect, I think, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that we will. Here's what's sad, and maybe I'm wrong on this. I hope I am. Let me say that. Let me preface by saying I do hope I'm wrong. I don't know that the WNBA will ever get out of this conversation. Like, I don't know that we'll ever fully rise to the next floor of the complex, Diesel, meaning like we get away from, is this going to really sustain itself? And they've got stars. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Like, we all know they've got stars, but like this conversation we have about the WNBA, it's not because the league's like in a great spot.
When will the game trump the controversy surrounding the game? And as of right now, it seems like that's a long way away.
It's just, I think it's an interesting sport for so many reasons. It's a female sport, and female sports, whether you like it or not, for the most part, take a back seat to men's sports. So they're already behind the eight ball in that regard. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. And I don't mean to sound sexist, but that's just truth. Like, are we going to spend as much time next summer talking about the World Cup as we did this past summer? We might not even mention a little bit,
If USA wins it,
if
we're
USA
talking about it,
wins, the women's, but that's fact of the matter number one.
Right.
Fact of the matter number two is we do what you just said. We compare it to the men's game and we think, just not that good at basketball. I don't watch. I love basketball, but here's the problem. And a lot of people, I think, would agree with me. And this is going to, again, you take it for what it's worth here. I don't love watching women's sports. I just don't. And I don't mean for that to be sexist. And I know somebody out there will think it is. But like, there are a lot of people who love women's basketball. And those people probably love the WNBA. And I think that's great. It's got a space. but let's stop acting like the WNBA is ever going to grow into this giant. It's not going to. It's a women's sports. And again, I'm not trying to tick off the females. I love women. I do. But I'm just telling you, women's sports don't just is there a women's flag football league that's better than the NFL, or a softball league that's better than the MLB? It's just the facts. And I hope it gets to a better place, but I think that's just the elephant in the room that a lot of people don't want to.
There's a reason why in the past, leagues like flag football, or when they used to do underwear football or something like that, that's how they would get men to tune in and watch.
What channel is that on, by the way?
Look it up, man. It's all over the place. They'd put women in scantily clad, uniforms and have them go play football. And that's how you get men to tune in and watch. They're not watching because of the competition. They're watching because of the eye candy.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's what the WNBA should resort to get more viewers. But to me, the level of competition has to get better, because with my eyes, when I tune in,
well, I don't think that's going to happen.
Some poor level. I'm just talking about the brick shots. I'm talking about wild shots that look non-athletic.
That's women's basketball, though.
Yeah,
that's it. What I'm saying is to you, if you want that to get better, I don't know that that's ever going to.
True. It feels like you need a league of Caitlin Clarks, and that's never going to happen.
I just you go watch it. And again, I know I'm trying not. I'm not meaning to sound disrespectful, but the quality of play is the quality of play.
Sure.
Like, if you're expecting it to be like the men's game, that's not going to ever happen. I just don't think it will. You'll have stars like Caitlin Clark come in, but even Caitlin Clark misses shots. Like it's a women's game, and I know that sounds just awful, but it doesn't compare if you're comparing it to having watched men's sports.
Transitioning to LeBron James here for just a minute, Cole. We have about 4 minutes left here, and then coming up in the very next segment, we'll have Grayson Mann of TigerNet.com to talk Clemson Tiger football. LeBron James took his $8 million contract last week, 2 years, $4 million per, to go to Philly and team up with Jaylen Brown and so many elite players that it feels like they are a favorite to go win the East and potentially go win the NBA championship. What I find interesting about this, Cole, is, I razz you, I give you a hard time and say Cole said that nobody would ever take a small contract to go win a championship. Here's what I find fascinating. LeBron was instrumental in really kind of kickstarting and popularizing the super team era. He's not the only one to ever do it, but he was big in that. But look at the list of players, Cole, whose contracts end in the next 12 months. Steph Curry, his contract expires after next season. Kevin Durant's contract expires after next season. Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler, James Harden. Now, James Harden is working on a deal, so we put a little asterisk next to James Harden.
A lot of these are older players.
Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson. Right. They're all in that age group of LeBron James of, if you want to go win another title, some of these guys have won their titles.
Yeah.
Steph and Klay won a bunch. KD has 2. Kyrie and Anthony Davis have 1. Jimmy Butler and James Harden don't have any. So I beg the question, is LeBron James going to be, a Maverick here, not a Dallas Maverick, but a small M Maverick, and be the only one of these players who's willing to do what he did, take a small contract to go join a team that's ready and win a title?
It is interesting. I truly did believe that would never happen. I just truly did believe it. I did not think we lived in a world where we see a superstar do what LeBron did from a pay perspective.
Right.
And I did say it. I'm telling you, I still don't believe it's true. However, you have to remember, and I guess this is why I made that statement. I made that take. You go look, Diesel, at the amount of money that LeBron makes in endorsements. And when you see how much money LeBron James makes in endorsements, then you say, oh, okay. Oh, it starts with a B. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's why he can take a, what do you call it? A
pay cut.
Well, yeah, but a
discount.
League minimum, right? That's why he can do that, because, he's making that.
Yeah.
So,
but Steph makes endorsements. I mean, imagine for a minute here that a year from now, Steph Curry says, I'll join the Celtics. I'll give them an elite three-point shooting weapon and immediately make the Celtics a potential favorite to win the East. I mean, the Celtics are going to have to do something to go now against the Philadelphia 76ers and the New York Knicks. And the Heat got better with Giannis also. The Cavs are still pretty good.
And the Celtics, don't forget, they got significantly worse.
Right.
It's not like they just stayed the same.
So
losing Brown, obviously.
you bring in Steph, pretend like for a second they reunite Steph and Clay in a Boston Celtics uni, pay each one of them $4 million a year. Their endorsements are still enormous, even though Clay's endorsements are not what Steph's endorsements are. And all of a sudden, boom, the Celtics are right back.
Yeah, it could be. I think every player's situation is different. Could I see it happening? I mean, I guess now that it's happened, yeah, I could see it. And that's not to say it's never, ever, ever happened before, but I think to the magnitude of player that we're talking about with LeBron James, right? Like, that a Kendrick Perkins take a pay. Yeah.
James Harden took a $12 million pay cut, but he's still making $30 million.
Still making $30 million compared to what LeBron's making.
Right.
It's a big difference. But obviously those he's still getting paid. He's still getting paid. It's just not coming from the Philadelphia 76ers.
It's an interesting thought, though. I mean, what if it kickstarts a new era of players, maybe not taking league minimum, but like, hey, I'll come play for 10.
Yeah. Well, I tell you this, you have the pendulum swings of like parity in the in the NBA when it comes to super teams this, super teams that, or teams that like the Philadelphia 76ers. People say, "Oh, LeBron's ring chasing, he's going to Philadelphia." Well, can somebody tell me the last time Philadelphia won a ring? You know, like what do we really mean by ring chasing, right? So I think you could see a pendulum swing, a new era in the way that superstars decide to end their career if they are financially able to, if they've done the right things. And I think Steph Curry, my God, I don't know how much he's making endorsements.
1983, by the way, was Philly's last NBA title.
But he's ring chasing, though. LeBron is ring chasing because he's going to Philly. And also, by the way, on that point, the Heat, Diesel, and again, this is the kind of thing that sometimes rubs me raw a little bit with people who just say these things like, oh, he's ring chasing, whatever. What does that even mean? Like, for example, the Heat, when LeBron James joined the Miami Heat, Diesel, they had won 0 playoff series in 4 years. Mm-hmm. When he joined the Cleveland Cavaliers, I can't speak, they had 0 winning seasons in 4 years. Mm-hmm. Not a winning season in 4 years. When he joined the Lakers didn't have a winning season in 5 seasons. They were horrible. They weren't making the playoffs. Are you kidding me? It's Philadelphia 76ers. They've got one playoff win in 3 years. But he's ring chasing.
But they made the playoffs, right?
They made playoffs.
They're a team that's already pretty good enough to make the playoffs.
The Hornets made the playoffs, though.
Well, they made the play-in.
They made the play-in. Close enough.
Google AI. Again, I get a texter tells me I shouldn't trust this. Steph Curry, according to this, makes an estimated $65 to $100 million a year in endorsements.
Oh.
So again, Steph could afford to go do this.
Oh, yeah, easy.
Klay Thompson's got some endorsements. Like I said, he's not getting Steph Curry endorsements, but Klay is already stupid rich, and I guarantee you he's diversified his portfolio, and he could do it too.
Of endorsements. Oh my God, that's a lot of money in endorsements.
Does Klay have his own shoe?
I don't know. I'm not in the not big in the shoe game. But that doesn't surprise me with Steph. He does. Klay does?
Yeah.
How about that? Diesel, let's talk Clemson. Let's talk Clemson Tigers. GraysonManTigerNet.com. Is my camera following me right now?
It's super close. Yeah, it is.
It's following.
That's weird.
I got this new camera for those watching on the stream, and then hopefully we'll get one on that side soon. I sent the email. We need to follow up on that email, by the way. Need to follow up.
As long as you sent an email.
Yeah, as long as I send it. GraysonManTigerNet.com next.
844-866-3663. That's 844-FAN-PHONE. This is Wire to Wire with Cole Bryson and Diesel on the Fan Upstate.
Well, it's time to talk to Grayson Mann, good friend of the show. You hear him a lot right here on the Fan Upstate. We appreciate his time as always. We're talking Clemson today on the Fan Upstate, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, 97.7 FM Greenville, 101.5 FM in Anderson. Grayson, before we get to the Clemson Tigers, Diesel and I were talking NBA in the very last segment about LeBron now in the Eastern Conference again. As a Celtics fan, how concerned are you? What's your thoughts? And you lost Jaylen Brown as well.
I love that I'm back on this video with you guys for the first time in a while, and we bring up Jaylen Brown and the Celtics. What a welcome back.
I just want to know, we hadn't caught up with you. You didn't speak to us at ACC. You big-timed us at ACC Media Days.
He walked right past us twice.
You didn't know who we were, right? You didn't want anything to do with us. And that's all false, by the way. So I just want your honest reaction, fan reaction. I said on, what was it, last week, Diesel? I said the biggest winner here was obviously Philadelphia, but the biggest loser is Boston. Because not only is LeBron back in the East, but you lose Jaylen Brown to the team that has LeBron now. How do you feel as a Celtics fan?
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it all comes together for Philadelphia, just because you have someone like Jaylen Brown who made his intentions very clear that he wants to be a number one option. And I think someone put on Twitter, which was hysterical, by the way, that he wanted to be Batman and now he's Alfred in this roster. Tyrese Maxey certainly is capable of being a one. Joel Embiid, when he's healthy, is certainly capable of being a one. It's a group that's held by tissue paper in some regards with LeBron's age at 41. When does it all really start to fall apart for him? And then Joel Embiid is bound to miss games as a Sixer as he has before. But all that together, if it blends together well, they should win the East. They really should. LeBron doesn't have to be a 28 points per game kind of guy anymore. He can be more of a facilitator, and he was in Los Angeles in those final years. So I think that kind of solves the issue of it all not gelling together offensively, where he can kind of be the step back. But I think it's going to be fascinating from that perspective. I would probably pick the Knicks right now to still win the East, maybe Boston if this PG trade isn't a total nightmare, but it's a nightmare, guys. When I saw the Jaylen Brown to Philadelphia thing, I thought I was in a nightmare. I saw the LeBron thing, and I thought we might as well be in hell right now. This is just terrible for a Celtics fan.
Well, yeah, Grayson, you know what's going to happen if this works. The Celtics are going to have to re-offer Larry Bird a new contract, bring him back, because if old players can suddenly help you win titles, you got to bring somebody back to get some juice
enough
going.
of the LeBron slander from both of you. Enough. I mean, what are we doing here? I'm not going to take it anymore.
Grayson, I'm curious, has Dabo reacted in any way to Pete Golding's comments last week at SEC Media Day? Obviously, he was rightfully and obviously frustrated when Luke Farrelly transferred. We remember the speech, the pages of text messages. Pete was asked about it at SEC Media Days, and he didn't call Dabo out, I don't think, specifically, but he certainly alluded to him. Has there been any buzz inside the building?
I think it's the point where probably you move on if you're Clemson. And it's unfortunate the SEC Media Days were that they preceded the ACC kickoff. I would have loved to have heard what Dabo would have said about Pete Golding's comments. I'm dying for those two programs to face off in the playoff just because of how awkward it could be. Probably not going to happen. But I think probably from just a building perspective, they're fully focused on the season, and it's no longer talking season for them, right? So maybe Sweeney will be fielded a question about it when on the first day of fall camp when we gather here in a few days. But ultimately, I don't think it's much of a conversation at this point, given how close Clemson is to getting started.
Grayson, one of the questions that I did not get to ask of Dabo, we ran out of time with him. He is very short-winded, right? I'm kidding.
Right. Very short with words.
Very short with words. I'll ask you, since I couldn't ask him. There's a lot of talk about this guy, a lot of talk about that guy. We know who the names are that we're talking about going into the season, with whether it be Will Held or Sammy Brown or Vecino, whatever. Who do you think the one guy is? Also, what do you think Dabo's answer would have been to me? My question was the one guy that we're not talking enough about that you've seen throughout the summer, a little bit back in spring as well, that you're super excited about. Who would your answer be on that, Grayson? And then also, who do you think Dabo would have given me as an answer?
Oh man, I think Dabo would have given you like 6 answers, man. There's not just one guy with him.
But
Uh,
one guy.
One guy.
That we're not talking about enough. That you think, okay, hey, this guy might have a really good year. There's just not a lot of buzz about him right now.
I think I'd give you an answer about someone who has to have a good year for Clemson to be successful, and I think that name's going to be Vic Burley. I think he's one of those players that, and Sweeney said it during his availability on Tuesday's media day a few weeks ago, that there are certain players that fall into that now or never category, and I think Vic Burley firmly fits into that grouping if we're talking about that type of Clemson player. And if he breaks out, I think that defensive tackle position that we have a lot of questions about heading into the fall, you shore up some of that. Obviously, you bring in Berberia from the transfer or from the junior college route. You bring in Marcus Strong from the transfer portal. You add a Texas State guy with the loss of Heaven Brown Schuler this year. So you have some pieces, but you're probably circling that alongside a co-star for Sammy Brown as the two spots defensively you have the most questions about. So I think if you had to answer your question, you probably frame it as, hey, we need this guy to be great for this defense to really achieve to another level. I think we've spent plenty of time talking about the secondary, about Corey Myrick, Jerome Carter, Elliott Washington, and just what they've done to improve a unit that was pretty putrid last year. But my answer would squarely face is the defensive tackle's got to be really good this year for Clemson to be successful. So I would say Burley would be my answer.
Grayson, I don't know if you've ever read one of these books when you were a kid. Like when I grew up, we had choose your own adventure books. I had an Indiana Jones one where it was, what do you want him to do? Do you want him to use his whip to swing across this alligator infested moat, or should he go the long way around? And things would change based on how you decided to read it. I want to ask you a question about Christopher Vezina. How good does Christopher Vezina need to be this year for Clemson to be successful? And I want you to choose your own adventure as far as how you answer this question. It can be statistical. Here's what he needs to do by the numbers, or a player comp, somebody who played quarterback at Clemson in the past. Does he need to be Deshaun Watson 2.0, or could he be someone else for this team to be successful?
Oh, goodness. If he's Deshaun Watson 2.0, man, the Clemson Dabo She's going to be taking a victory lap like we've never seen. That will be a interesting string of Tuesday pressers if that's the case. I would say that the season that I would compare it to the most in terms of not many people talk about it anymore. You're probably not going to remember it the next year either, but very underappreciated was Kelly Bryant. Now, I'm not comparing the two players as a one-for-one, but I think that's a player that came in a very interesting transitional phase where Bryant took over for a Deshaun Watson era. Not many people knew what his skill set would be, and Bryant's skill set was more with his legs than his arm, but I would say he limited turnovers. He took care of the football. He made the timely throws when he needed to. And a lot of these one-possession games, it was coming really simply down to, okay, Clemson's got a great defense. Kelly, just don't screw it up for us. And Clemson did that a majority of times in 2017. So I would say if we were choosing our own adventure, if you could have a Kelly Bryant, and I've looked at his stats before just because this has popped into my mind, is he probably needs to throw more than 13 passing touchdowns, but that's a lot to Kelly Bryant, who scored a lot on the ground. So I would say from a just mechanically standpoint, taking care of the football, timeliness, clutch factor, some of that stuff that Bryant was good at in that ACC stretch. Clemson had a lot of tight games that year that people forget about before they went to the playoff, but I would say that's the quarterback right there. You're probably not going to remember him. Definitely underappreciated, though.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up about the defense. Do you believe, Grayson, that as we're joined by Grayson Mann of TigerNet.com, do you believe that the defense in 2026 will be good enough so that other players, whether it be on the defensive side of the ball or offense, most likely offense, have that ability to make that play in close games? Dabo talked a lot about close games last year, a play here, a play there. I guess what I'm asking is the defense going to be good enough in your mind, in your eyes, to be able to put this team in that situation more often than not?
I think Clemson's defense has to be. There's no other way around it. Where I felt like last year, when you looked at games like SMU or Duke is a big example, your defense lost you at least two games last year.
Yeah.
And that has to flip. And so we had talked about it earlier with that secondary piece. I think that area is going to be tremendously improved. So of course, we could play hypotheticals here, guys, and say, well, what if Corey Myrick was covering that deep third instead of Ronan Hannafin? We don't know. Those are just kind of the players that were in each given season. But I would say that Clemson's going to have to win a certain way in some of these games. LSU probably not going to win that type of shootout rock fight. Miami, you're probably going to have a final of 24-20, 24-17, where the offense is going to have its moments. But do we expect it to be great? I don't think we really can answer that with full confidence yet without a starting quarterback. And we haven't seen Chad Morris call plays yet against another defense in this era. So that on its own, Tom Allen's defense is going to have to be the Tom Allen that Clemson fans thought they were getting when he arrived here in 2025. That press conference where Sweeney said, we're going to see what he's worth here with LSU coming up. Probably meant last year, but it's going to be me more with Lane Kiffin now in town. I would say this defense has to be great, Cole, for this team to win a lot of football games.
Grayson, I saw this morning that players at Stanford are unionizing. They have created a chapter of a sports union. Is that something you could ever see happening at Clemson? I mean, is that, I guess it could happen anywhere, but is there any sort of education? You know, we chatted with Pat Narduzzi at ACC kickoff, and he said, we teach our players about not gambling, and they reiterate that stuff to them. I don't know if there is any training around something like this because it's still so new, but is that, in your mind, a plausible scenario?
I think it's a plausible scenario that at some point there's going to be a players union for college football. There's going to be some sort of collective bargaining. I would imagine that in 5-10 years down the road, maybe like we have the NFLPA, maybe there's a CFP where there's going to be some landmark case at some point where a player is going to feel like they were owed more than they were given. And that's going to unite the front here. And then you'll select a few representatives in college football to sort of lead the charge there. I'm shocked there isn't more like Stanford Diesel, to be honest with you, just because of how college football is now and how loose everything is. It really was great to see, frankly, that it's moving in that direction. It gives me hope that we'll have a little bit more structure. And so a players union, college football wide, maybe you do it with each different conference protecting its own interest at that point. But that is the first of many, I think. It wouldn't shock me if we see more of those down the road.
Grayson, you alluded to this in a previous question, and I want to expound on it a little bit here. Is it an advantage? And if so, how? But is it an advantage for Clemson going into a game like the LSU game where Chad Morris is the new OC? Yes, you could say the same thing about LSU, but you've seen recent tape. You've seen recent film of what a Lane Kiffin offense looks like. You haven't as much in the sense when it comes to Chad Morris. Is that an advantage at all in your mind?
I guess you could ask Lane Kiffin that question of when they do film study for Clemson, it might be more individual just for tendencies, but you'd have to go back to 2014 and some of those ESPN graphics are as outdated as what they used to study film with back in 2014. So I don't know. I think it might be just because you maybe have a little bit of an element of surprise and you don't have a tendency to draw on, but these opening games are so, I think, introductory to both sides. There's no preseason really. There's not really that element of, we know exactly what they're going to go out there and do, because Lane could have some adjustments based on the personnel or what he's going to do with Sam Leavitt. So I would imagine that maybe there's a slight advantage. Just you don't have okay, here's Garrett's offense, or here's Lincoln's offense, or here's Lane's offense. This is what we have an idea of what they'll do. I would imagine that Blake Baker, when they're studying the Clemson offense, they're going to be more, okay, this is what TJ Moore's freak tendencies are when we're playing press man. This is what Gideon Davidson does, or this is what he struggles with when identifying blockers off of a blitz package. So I would imagine it'd be more individualized, but that's certainly an interesting element of this where both offenses are coming from different backgrounds, wildly different paths, but different backgrounds.
Grayson Mann, TigerNet.com. Let's park there on that running back position for just a second. You know, I've been reading a lot of high praise about Chris Johnson, the running back who transferred in from SMU. CJ Spiller says he's rounding into a complete back. What can you tell us? Is he threatening for real reps as running back 2 on the depth chart?
I think there's a role carved out for him. And I've tried to tell people that I don't see it as a traditional running back role in that sense. I see it more as a change of pace back and a gadget type of player that I think Clemson would be better suited to not go, let's run Chris Johnson Jr. in between the tackles 10 to 15 times a night and call it a day. Let's get him out in space. Let's set a couple screens up for him. Let's get him out wide and try to see if we can identify certain coverages. Maybe just use that 4.2 speed and have him go down the field on some plays, or simply maybe running just a drag into a soft spot of the zone and seeing what he can do in space. The roles and the ideas are limitless for a player that can move like that. So I think Clemson, with that type of speed, you'll have Gideon Davidson, Jay Haynes, and Jarvis Green being more of that traditional back. And then Chris Johnson Jr., you try to creatively use him. It'd be a huge disservice if Clemson just decides Chris Johnson is their in between the tackles running back and they don't try to utilize that type of athletic gift and speed more often.
I agree with you there, but how much of that has to do with, like, this is one thing I've kind of been intrigued by a little bit when it comes to the running back room. How much of it has to do with what Gideon did or didn't do last year compared to like what Chad's philosophy is on RB1 versus RB2, if that makes sense? Because obviously you have a little bit of sample size from last year from Gideon and Chris at SMU, but I just wonder, when you talk about getting equal playing time or running back by committee, you know, Clemson's had good backs. I don't know that Clemson fans, though, would be used to this being a running back by committee kind of room. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like they've had that in a while. And sometimes that's successful where you platoon. Sometimes it's not. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, last year you had Adam Randall, and that was pretty much it, with Gideon Davidson being very sparingly used. And then the year prior, and this is why Adam Randall became a running back, was out of necessity, because Maffa got ran into the ground, and they didn't really trust the guys behind him, unless for a few plays here or there. So I think it will be different. Obviously, with a new coordinator, you're going to see a little bit of a different look. I think the thing that Clemson fans might have to get adjusted to the most is two-back sets, where you have Davidson and Johnson out there, and you try to make things happen with that specifically. That wouldn't shock me if that's one of your more common formations, is you have to try to have two backs, maybe two receivers, a tight end, and you try to use variations on that and get really creative with it. I think creativity will be the biggest thing you want to see from Chad Morris. And that's not for just making fancy plays for the sake of making fancy plays. It's just getting less predictable in certain situations. And I think with two backs, you say, hey, we got two guys we're really confident in. Why not use them both on the field at the same time? We saw a little bit of that last year, but not enough.
Grayson, looking into next season, I saw that you just retweeted this a couple of hours ago. 2028 four-star quarterback Trace Hawkins will announce his commitment here in just a couple of days. He's got Clemson listed alongside LSU, Vanderbilt, VT, and Duke. I mean, if you're Clemson and you see that other Tiger logo next to it, you know that they're willing to pay a lot more than Clemson is. I mean, is it kind of a done deal that Clemson's not going to get him if LSU's on him?
I would say that at Thursday, more than not, I would expect some good news for Clemson fans on that front.
Be good.
Oh, breaking news here.
Be good. Good news. We like good news, Grayson. Hey, you're also good news every time you join the show. We appreciate you, and we will do it again real soon.
Hey, football season's here, so I'm hoping to have another occupied spot every Monday.
Oh, you know you will. You know you will. No doubt about it. Your people get with our people and see if the contract stuff still works out and all that. We don't have those kind of conversations
those are
on
big
air.
words.
You know what I mean? The
I
contract
think I
obligation.
gotta get my guys to look over that big time thing. That might be a defamation of character.
That's right.
I might have to look into.
Thanks, Grayson. You're the best.
Appreciate y'all.
Grayson Mann, TigerNet.com. Always appreciate his time and coverage. You heard him right here on the Fan Upstate.
Great stuff from Grayson Mann. When we come back, Cole, let's whip around the sports world, get it all in one segment. Our Daily Wires next.
phone.
This is Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson on the Fan Upstate.
Texter says Grayson reigned on the SEC's parade. Are you talking about his prediction that Clemson is going to land Trace Hawkins? Interesting, Texter. Let's get to all of our sports in one go, Cole. These are our daily wires, the buzz around the sports world. The Braves are back to finding a way with the bases loaded off an Ozzie Albies error at second base in the top of the 10th or bottom of the 10th. Matt Olson snagged a Gunnar Henderson line drive, stepped on first base for an improbable double play in the bottom of the 10th, and Austin Riley's RBI double in the top of the 11th took a 3-2 win for the Braves and a series win at Baltimore. Every game in this series decided by just one run.
It was a good series, man. It kind of felt like a playoff series in a sense. It was just tight. Every at-bat felt like it mattered. Pitching at times was good for the Braves, and now Acuna's back.
Yeah, there was one clip where the announcer said, and that's going to send all the fans to the exits, where the Braves were like blowing them out. I think it was game one.
Yeah.
And then they missed out. They missed out a crazy game. Atlanta is now 62-43 on the season, currently holds a 5.5 game lead in the NL East. Martin Perez is on the mound tonight for Atlanta against the Mets.
Got to beat the Mets.
The wife of Kansas City Chiefs OC Eric Bieniemy was shot Sunday night at the couple's home in Virginia by their son.
Ugh.
Mia Bieniemy is hospitalized in stable condition.
Oh,
Awful.
what an awful, awful story.
It is. It is. North Carolina, speaking of awful, Cole, that's not the only bad sports story today. North Carolina has put their general manager, Michael Lombardi, a top aide to Coach Bill Belichick, on paid administrative leave. We hadn't got a whole lot of information as to exactly why, Cole, but the Tar Heels will open their second season under Bill Belichick in just 5 weeks. August 29th, they'll be playing TCU in Dublin. The school's decision stems from a human resources complaint filed by a former UNC front office employee. We don't know any more than that right now.
One of those stories that you talk about weird, like he was one of the most highly touted GMs a year ago when Belichick hired him, you know?
Speaking of weird stories, Michigan AD Ward Manuel is going to be paid out a lump sum of $7.14 million in a severance package to send him walking from Ann Arbor, Michigan. No, I'm kidding. He'll probably pull away in a Maserati or something.
Yeah, driving, not walking.
In addition to his payout, he'll receive former AD perks, such as being eligible for Michigan season tickets and golf privileges. They also agreed to pay $108,000 contribution to his retirement account and pay his attorney fees of $82,000.
Old boy's got a good lawyer, don't he?
Yeah, he does.
I mean, my
Goodness
gosh.
gracious. His personnel file will reflect that he resigned, not that he was fired.
Even better. Even better.
In a story that broke over the weekend, Alabama's Alabama NIL content director Robert Aaron Suttles was among 15 men arrested for solicitation of prostitution during a human trafficking sting. Suttles was a former sports reporter for the Tuscaloosa News and The Athletic, has overseen content for Alabama since its launch in 2023.
No.
Not good.
Alabama.
Not good.
No.
Here's some good news, Cole. Let's turn this franchise around. Jackson Koiven felt the nerves but never flinched, securing his first ever PGA Tour win in the face of Scotty Scheffler, who was breathing down his neck. Koiven won the 3M Open by 3 strokes in only his third start as a professional.
Yeah.
He held off Scotty Scheffler with a closing 5 under 66 for a tournament record 25 under 259 total.
Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive for a guy that young. I'll tell you this. He's got a fan in me now because I saw a video this morning of him almost at dark last night. He was the last one on the course all by himself. He was at 18. And what was he doing? He was fishing.
Hey.
And I said, hey, I like this guy. I'm going to start pulling.
Right on.
I'd never heard of him before. I'd never heard of him.
Why would you? This is only his third start.
Never, ever. But he took it to him, and my gosh, earned $1.6 million this weekend. Not bad.
Yeah. College football players at Stanford are attempting to unionize. This is wild stuff if it starts to take off in other places. Stanford football players have formed a campus chapter of the College Football Players Association. They are the first team to partner with the organization. We talked about that with Grayson in the previous segment. What if it starts to catch on and you get more and more and more schools and players signing up for this?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. 2 days before training camp starts, the Washington Commanders have fired their tight ends coach, Ben Steele following an arrest on a DWI charge a month ago. Steele was charged with DWI and obstruction/resisting without force. So they're going to have to figure something out quickly. And final one for you here, Cole. In a podcast appearance with Max Kellerman, Rich Paul said that LeBron James felt emotional turmoil during his decision-making process, and that all four of the teams that everybody was pointing at, the Warriors, Cavs, Heat, and 76ers, led the race at one point. But ultimately, Philly became the most attractive option since the team traded for Jaylen Brown. Furthermore, James's relationship with Tyrese Maxey, another Clutch Sports client, played a role in his decision.
So it's Jaylen Brown, the reason he's there, but also Jaylen Brown made a comment about Bronny that LeBron didn't like, and I guess they're just smoothing that over. No big deal.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's basketball. Overreaction Monday. Do we overreact about the Atlanta Braves, who have not lost the series since the All-Star break, and they're getting their guy back today, Ronald Acuna? Do we overreact about that? Or, Dolos, do you take us in a different direction? We'll find out next.
sports to the courts and the gridiron to the tracks.
Electrifying sports talk from start to finish.
You're going wire to wire
With Diesel and Cole Bryson.
on the Fan Upstate.
You know, Diesel, I'm really disappointed in one of our Tolos who normally calls during the 5 o'clock hour most days, not every day. But Cocky, for a reason, you know, he's pretty good at calling in. He's usually pretty funny sometimes not, but sometimes pretty good call, right? And I think Tom in Somerville last Friday had like the call of the century, calling me out for being a biased Clemson fan. Remember that?
I do remember that.
And, you know, Cocky wasn't even listening. He wasn't even there to respond. And Tom literally set that up on a silver platter for Cocky for a reason to pile on the hate to me or at me. And Cocky for a reason just absolutely whiffed. I mean, strike three and that great of a call from Tom in Somerville. Cocky for a reason claims he's a Tolo, claims he turns it on and leaves it on, and we didn't even get a response. Cocky didn't even applaud Tom, and I just think it's a shame that good of a call where Tom tried to bury me for wearing a Clemson shirt, right? And Cocky for a reason. He says he's a Tolo, but there was no Toloing done last Friday. I don't know. We need to check on him. Let's put out an APB. And on Dewey. Where's Dewey been, by the way?
It's a crying shame.
Have you seen Dewey on the stream today?
I have not. I haven't seen Cocky. I haven't seen Dewey. We need to do a wellness check on these Tolos, make sure they're okay. Maybe they were just so intimidated by Kev's call last week, Cole, and the new drop that we have from Kev, where Kev told people to do this.
Oh, sorry. Try that again.
Shut up. Shut up.
I love that. Shut up. I love that. Shut up, Kev says. You know, the Tolos that we do hear from regularly, we talked about it last week. I think one of our Tolos suggested us have Dewey record a what was the phrase we were going to use? Where you been? Or no, it was a where you been button. Is it maybe that's what it was? A where you been button? Because like now's the time of the year you start to hear. We heard from somebody last week that we hadn't heard from in a while. It was Alabama. Bama Springer, right?
We had it was a guy that went by like a state name, like Jersey Joe.
And that was Philly Jack.
Philly Jack.
Yep.
Philly
Called about
Jack.
the Sixers.
Yeah.
As a first-time caller, he said. Philly Jack was. So with that being said, it is Overreaction Monday. I know there's not a lot to overreact about from the weekend. It is slow sports-wise. What did you watch? Maybe, just maybe, you didn't watch anything this past weekend. Maybe you don't care about the golf. I didn't watch any golf this weekend, Diesel.
I watched some. I watched the Scheffler group for like an hour and a half yesterday.
Yeah.
Off and on. Like I wasn't sat there glued to it. I went to the pool yesterday.
Oh.
And I needed some light exercise because Saturday night, my wife and I with some friends went to a Brazilian restaurant. And I don't know if you've been to a Brazilian steakhouse.
It's been a while.
One thing tends to happen at Brazilian steakhouses. You get so full you can't move afterwards because they are all you can eat. And trust me, buddy, I put that thing to the test.
How much would you say you consumed?
Oh God. I
mean, give us a breakdown.
Okay. So they had big whole steaks that were on the spit.
Oh God.
And then they had,
you ate, how many of those do you think you ate?
I mean, I probably ate, so they slice off a piece, right?
Oh, okay.
So I had probably
So
four.
it's not a whole.
No, it's not a whole steak.
Okay. They're just slicing off.
Right.
Okay,
I probably had three like flank steak slices, and then I had probably 4 or 5 picanha slices. It's another slice, another cut of steak.
Picanha.
Picanha.
I
It's
have
delicious.
heard of
It's
that.
like a salted steak. It's like one of those things. I always say like the best food in the world always comes from the poorest places because they figured out how to take a less than desirable cut of meat and make it delicious.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, shrimp is a bottom feeder. You're not supposed to eat shrimp because they're dirty mud bugs,
But they're good.
They're delicious.
They're good.
And then they had chicken legs and they had bacon wrapped chicken and they had sausages and I just kept eating and eating and eating. And of course I hit the salad bar too because that was incredible.
Hit the salad bar.
Yeah, I didn't get any. Okay, I didn't get any salad. I got things from the salad bar that were not salad.
Okay.
Because I'm still afraid, I might get that thing that makes you go.
That's what I
doo-doo.
pear sign.
Yeah, but they've already debunked that it's not in the lettuce, but
Well, you know,
I didn't want to risk it.
I had a lunch meeting today at a place that sold salads, and I asked people I was with, "Are we allowed to eat salads again?" They said, "I think so," but I don't know. I think it was just Taco Bell. Is that the only place that would blame it at all on
Taco Bell was already making people explosive.
Yeah, but it was a lettuce, I believe.
Speaking of Taco Bell and explosive, let's go to the phone lines and bring in Tom in Somerville. What have you got to explode about today?
What's up, Tom?
Hey, guys. Now, Diesel, the one thing you got to know about the Brazilian steakhouse before I get to my overreaction, when you go there, the cold meats on the salad bar is how you get in the groove. You got to get some of those cold meats down first.
They had prosciutto. I got some prosciutto and some mozzarella, fresh. I get that's not like Brazilian food, but if it's there, I'm going to eat it.
Exactly. You got to get a plate of that down first. And then when they start bringing the hot meats around, don't waste your time on the chicken. You can get chicken pretty much any day of the week somewhere else.
You're right.
Don't waste
I
time
agree
on
with that.
chicken. And if they have fish, sorry, don't waste your time on the fish.
I didn't have any fish.
You're going with the meats that you cannot get on the regular basis.
Right.
So, your garlic steak, the portacania, whatever they call it, all the good stuff. That's where you get the meat sweats from.
Yeah.
When I go to those places and I see somebody getting a chicken leg, I about want to jump out of my seat. What are you like? You can get a chicken leg at Bojangles.
Yeah. Well,
don't waste your room.
I tell you, Tom, I had one of the chicken legs because they were fresh out of the roaster, and it's one of the best chicken legs I've ever had. I knew the same thing. I didn't want to get the chicken leg, but they looked so good I had to have one.
Oh yeah. Well, while we're talking about food, that actually leads to my overreaction.
Oh boy.
Because there wasn't much sports news out there until today, and then today the sports news just decided it was going to go crazy. Talking about you, Mr. Lombardi. But my overreaction all weekend, my wife been telling me she was going to make me a peach cobbler. We went and got peaches. We went and got the pie crust. We went and got all the things you need to make peach cobbler. I called the wife all the way home. You know, the one thing that she did not do today, of all the things she did, there is no peach cobbler waiting on me when I get home. And I've been waiting on this peach cobbler all weekend.
Oh, what a miserable bad life you have. We need to stop and have a moment of silence.
It sounds like you're starting to identify with Eric Bieniemy's son.
I just want my peach cobbler, dang it.
So I mean, what are you going to say, Tom? Like, are you going to fuss about it or what?
Oh, you know what? Next time she asked me to do something, I'm gonna be like, is my peach cobbler ready yet?
This is how you know Overreaction Monday absolutely sucks donkey. You know what? Because it's July when Tom is overreacting about not having peach cobbler.
I just want to know, Tom, have you been exercising, staying limber? Because if you say that to your wife, you might get a peach cobbler plate thrown at your head.
Hey, at least I'll have peach cobbler to eat.
Jeez. Hey, Tom, what about the Braves, though? I mean, we can overreact about the Braves, baby.
I mean, the Braves, I'll save that one for somebody else. The Braves got the job done. They got the job done. It wasn't pretty, but they made it exciting, and they got the job done.
All three games were like iffy, playing with fire a little bit, and then extra innings yesterday. Austin Riley getting a little hot, you think there, Tom?
Well, I'm not going to talk positively about Austin Riley until he does something in a meaningful baseball game that matters. If Dewey calls in and Dewey wants to talk positive about Austin Riley, I might change my tone.
So what do you mean a meaningful baseball game that matters? I mean, yesterday was a big game. I mean, it felt like a playoff. Camden Yards, there wasn't a seat out there left.
Well, I'm talking in the postseason, go do something that he hadn't done all year. Go hit 400, 500 in a series with 3 or 4 home runs.
I'm
not setting the bar high at all, are we?
Yeah, I'm sick of Austin Riley. I'm still sick of him. He's been trash all year.
He has been. But maybe the offense, Tom, with getting Acuna back, and I like Dom Smith's playing pretty good. Like your other guys that were playing so good in the beginning of the season, they're starting to pick it up, and you get Acuna back, and maybe that sparks something for Austin Riley, Tom. Be positive.
Well, I hope it does. This team needs to pick up the pace a little bit. All spring, you and I said we were winning too much too early, and it was concerning. Well, then we saw the dip happen. Now they need to keep pedal on the metal, build that lead back up to 10, 15 games, lead Philadelphia in the dust, and get this thing back on track and go win the division and make a run in the playoffs.
Hey, Tom, of the 3 wild stories that we've heard coming out of college towns this morning, ultimately, which one do you think will be the worst, the biggest black eye on their university? You know, UNC had to put their GM on leave. Alabama had the head of their NIL collective get caught with trying to buy hookers, and Ward Manuel stepped down. We still don't know why.
Well, the Alabama situation is messed up, obviously, but I don't think there's enough info yet out on the North Carolina situation.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that it probably involves a blonde-headed woman.
Oh,
And that's probably where I'm going to leave it at that.
Brunettes could be hussies too. Why are you discriminating?
Well, it's always the blonde-headed women that are caught up in these situations.
Jeez.
It's always the blonde.
jeez. Tom, appreciate the phone call as always.
Thanks,
Go
Tom.
Big Guys.
Tom in Somerville. I was reading an article before we get back to the phone lines. Yeah, he is. But it's a good reason to hate on him, though.
He's probably right.
I was reading this article this morning, Diesel, and I hadn't touched on this yet. You know, one interesting thing about the trade deadline coming up in the MLB, I don't know if anybody really has a beat on what the Tigers are going to do with Tarek Skubal or not. We've heard several times now that he's going to be, shopped around. He's not going to be shopped around. They want to make a push. I think they're 5 games, something like that, 5-6 games back. But
he doesn't want to be traded.
He doesn't want to be. He wants to make a push. And when you talk about like playoff arm that's the caliber of Chris Sale, I don't know that you're going to find that. Here's the reality. If you make it to October and you're going head-to-head with the Dodgers, as currently constructed, even though you have a good roster, you've got to have somebody. And I would imagine the Braves are very, very interested on Tarek Skubal. I just don't know if you go all in. And here's why. The Braves farm system right now, and Tom mentioned the Braves there, the Braves farm system's right now as good as it's been in a long, long time. Like really, really good. I just don't know if Alex Anthopoulos is the type of guy to push the chips. You remember back in the day, they called Jerry Jones Wild Card Jerry because he would just do go and get guys like, Dion. He would go push all the chips. He'd go do the wild card to go get the guy. And I don't know that AA's that guy. I would love for the Braves to go get Tarek Skubal. I just am not getting my hopes up that it happens. Now, does the return of Ronald Acuna impact the Braves quick enough to where they don't
need to?
I don't know. They still need an arm. Yeah. Ronald doesn't pitch, right? So I don't know. I just think we have to realize the trade deadline, Diesel, is only a few days away, less than a week away now. So this is something we'll continue to keep our eye on.
How deep is the farm system? Is it deep enough that they could push a handful of guys to the Tigers to bring a Skubal in? And how long could they keep a Tarek Skubal? I mean, is it a 1-year rental or back half of the season rental? Is it a guy that maybe you could figure out a way to get on your roster for a couple of years?
I'd hope so, man.
Yeah, you'd think so. But do you want to be always the bridesmaid and never the bride?
Problem is, though, man, the problem is there's so many teams out there that need that quality of arm. Like the Brewers really need an ace.
Yeah.
The Phillies need a top starter, maybe reliever. The Brewers are a team that I think they might be pretty aggressive. We'll see, though. Let's go back to the phone lines. Overreaction Monday continues. Solos, I know there's not a ton to overreact to from the weekend, but we will take your calls if you have a thought. 844-34. God, I can't even get the number out.
844-34.
Let me start over.
4.
844-326-3663. There's the number.
Sound it out.
I couldn't even think of it for a minute. 844-FAN-PHONE. That's FANFONE. Cocky for a reason. I don't know if he heard me giving him a hard time earlier. Cocky, did you hear that?
I missed it earlier. Actually, I need to partake earlier in it covertly. You
You need the Tolo.
So
yeah.
let me ask you, did you hear Tom's call from Friday?
Tom's call. I think I did. I heard Tom's call Friday.
No.
So.
You don't think you
If
did.
you heard it, you'd know.
About me and the Clemson shirt and the former politician.
Oh
that's
no,
not-
I missed that. I missed that altogether.
He
Yeah, I missed
literally had a silver platter out for you and him to pile on me on Friday for me calling y'all biased and things like that. And you're telling me that you weren't even there to hear it. I mean, that's embarrassing.
I'm gonna download the Odyssey app. If I can replay that, can I?
Why don't you already have it, Cocky?
That's what I'm saying. What do you mean download it?
Hey, I'm a simple guy.
Oh my God.
Okay, Leonard Skinner.
I mean, can't even download. Do we need to walk you through how to download the Odyssey app?
I can do that. I got that.
Do you have an iPhone or Android?
But I got the Apple, so I'm good.
The Apple. You have the Apple. You have the Apple. What is the Apple?
The Apple.
Oh, the Apple. I don't know if I can do it this quick. I might do it. No. I'm talking about something else now, Kage. Wait a minute. I will try. I will try during the break to get Tom's phone call from Friday and bring it back to you. Are you going to listen for a minute, or are you about to? I mean, you hadn't been Toloing lately.
I'm pulled into the blood connection here, so I got an hour and a half that I can just listen all I want.
Oh, you're giving blood. What's the occasion?
I do that every other week. I do the platelets every other week.
It's a good person right there, helping people out.
Every other week you give blood?
No, not blood, platelets. That's for the cancer patients.
Look at you. Cole tried to make him feel bad about something, and Cocky for a reason is doing the Lord's work.
I mean, just giving away platelets. That is pretty good. I'm sorry
I ain't giving away nothing. They give me $90 every week every time I get it.
Hey.
Oh, so now we know the motive here. Now we know the motive.
Everybody's got to have a side hustle.
Hey, you can do a great thing and get paid for it.
Your
They're
side
not
hustle
mutually exclusive.
is giving away platelets for. All right, let me see if I can pull it up here. Hold on. Let's see, Cocky. This is Friday's show. We were talking about Rocky.
Yeah, we were talking about Rocky 5.
Okay,
You've never seen Rocky 5. Dan had never seen
No,
Rocky
I hadn't
5.
either. I hadn't
Oh,
either.
talking about Rocky. There's a new Rocky coming out in the fall that shows the behind the scenes movie.
Why?
I hadn't heard. Have you heard of this?
Yes.
Diesel. Have you heard about this?
No.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
going to watch it.
All right, let's see. Hold on one second, Cocky. Let's do some little live on-air searching here.
ACC sucks,
All right.
and they're basically
This was Friday.
a second-class citizen themselves.
ACC
I think it depends on the
sucks.
program. Number one cares about little G.
Oh, here we go. This is it. All right, Cocky, we're going to back this thing up. Ready for this? Here we go. So this is to set the scene. This is Tom from Friday's show. You ready?
Yeah.
You're lucky I didn't give you a phone call last night because I was scrolling on Facebook last night. And boy, do I have a story for you.
Oh,
And
boy.
Somehow I was scrolling through Facebook. And what do you see? You see the one and only, the voice of sports radio in South Carolina, Cole Bryson, wearing a orange Clemson shirt with a former South Carolina politician. Okay, and I started asking some questions, and I made a phone call. Right, Cole, I hear you're a big fan of the Peddler Steakhouse. Is that correct?
The Peddler?
The Peddler Steakhouse.
Yeah, I love the Peddler.
Yeah, I heard it's got good food. But I asked a friend of mine. I said, "Can you believe this? One of the best sports radio talk show host in South Carolina was wearing a Clemson shirt. He claims not to be biased. Well, I found this that you were at the Peddler with a former politician, okay? And y'all were eating steaks, eating cheeses, and y'all were doing the tiger chant up in the Peddler. So, you know, I don't ever want to hear about me being biased, okay? I'm allowed to be biased. I don't have a radio show that I get to host every day. I'm allowed to be biased. Now,
I'm allowed to be biased. I think that was the best part of the phone call.
Well, the way I see it now, you're not in the closet. You're out of the closet now.
Well, I've always like
you got outed. You got outed by Tom.
I did.
Tom outed you.
I
You're
did.
out of the closet.
But here's the deal, Cocky. Y'all have this misconception that I've hid my Clemson fandom. I grew up a Clemson fan. And I've said that. Diesel and I've talked about that. Yeah. I don't wear orange shirts. Here's the problem with you guys. Y'all think because I'm not like the other guys on the other station in the upstate that rah, pom, all Clemson all the time. Y'all think because of that, oh, okay, Cole's a little neutral. But then when you find out I'm a Clemson fan, it comes back to, oh, he's at the Clemson Hall. So you will use this to benefit you and your agenda, depending on if I'm on your side, or Carolina side, or Clemson side. But I've never said, even though I try to keep it neutral, that I'm not a Clemson fan.
I'm not saying you ain't or you're not. I'm just saying it's talking season, and it's just a talking point, and you're gonna get busted when you get busted
For wearing an orange shirt. Okay. But I'm glad you could hear that since you weren't toloing. We'll give you a pass.
Hey, look at the X. I sent a picture of the peach cobbler I had yesterday.
Oh, now you're just rubbing it in.
What is it? Peach cobbler weekend or something?
No, I had a peach cobbler. We had Sunday school get together yesterday, and I made a peach cobbler, and some other friends made homemade ice cream. We had homemade ice cream and peach cobblers at the Sunday school social yesterday.
Well, you need to invite Tom over to your house, because I don't think Tom's going to get a peach cobbler, especially if he demands one from Mrs. Tom in Somerville.
Yeah, I'm going to look for this now.
He better not demand. He better.
Did you tag us in it? You usually do.
Yeah, I got it here. I got it.
I found it. There it is. That does look pretty good.
Solid peach cobbler.
Looks pretty good.
Ice cream on top, though.
Is peach cobbler the best cobbler or no?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The best cobbler.
Best
cherry cobbler. What else would you have?
Blackberry cobbler. You've got
blueberry's pretty good too, but peach is still the best. And you can't do apple.
That's like apple
cobbler,
pie.
Yeah,
that's apple pie. That's right. Apple pie is trump.
Good warm apple pie is pretty good. So peach cobbler. I don't know. Blackberry cobbler is pretty up there for me. But you go peach.
Yeah. Peach is the goat. Peach is the goat of cobblers.
The goat of cobblers, says Cocky for a reason. Cocky, thanks for the call, man.
Thanks, Cocky.
All right.
The goat of cobblers.
Top cobbler. Text in right now. 844 fan phone.
I do like peach. You know, I think I would go, though. I think I'd go blackberry over peach.
What are you, crazy?
I love blackberries, man.
Crazy?
Do you like blackberries? Like, can you eat them by themselves?
No, I don't like the consistency. I don't like the seeds
texture?
in them. I don't like the texture. The flavor, not it for me. Peach is where it's at.
I love the texture.
I love blueberries. I love strawberries. I just don't love blackberries that much.
Tom just tweeted back 43 seconds ago and said, "Wife is making mine now," all caps. I will give it to Cocky. That peach cobbler on the on X looks pretty good. It does look pretty good. I'll give it to him. I didn't know he was a chef.
I meant to tell Tom I'm going to be down his way on Thursday playing in that Birdies with Beamer
in Somerville.
And I don't know exactly where the course is yet.
Where is it? Is it Columbia?
Yeah.
Well, that's not his way.
Well, Somerville is just a little past Columbia.
No. It's way past. I don't know what course but you're playing Thursday. Birdies with Beamer.
Yeah.
With Beamer.
Yeah.
I hope you have a better score.
This year it's at Cobblestone Park Golf Club in Blythewood.
Oh, Blythewood.
Where's Blythewood?
Blythewood is kind of northwest of Columbia. Now, Blythewood's a good little drive from here. I have to go Blythewood a good bit for work. It's
okay.
About an hour, 40 minutes.
That's not bad. I'll expense it.
expensive.
Yeah.
And if you drive like I drive, you can cut some time off a little bit.
Yeah, my Jeep's not that fast. It's not.
Yeah.
That's a problem for me. Hey, Cole, when we come back, speaking of problems, there was the guy that won the Claret Jug, Ryan Fox, 2 weeks ago, won the Open Championship. He had himself a bit of a struggle getting this thing on the airplane. It's a crazy story. I want to find out from our Tolos. Have you ever had a hard time getting something unusual onto an airplane? And to bring it back local here, Clemson's Lucas Glover got into a little bit of a tiff with the other golfers this past weekend at the 3M. Next segment, all golf. That's on the other side of the break.
Bryson and Diesel on the Fan Upstate.
Cole, whether you go on long distance hunting trips or if you're just the kind of person who likes to carry a firearm with you on an airplane, it's doable. It's maybe a tiny little bit of a pain in the butt, but follow all the rules, do all the protocols, and it's not too much of a headache.
Yeah.
Have you flown firearms before?
I have one time.
I've only done it one time as well. It was fairly easy. But I've never tried to fly with something like the Claret Judge.
Why not?
Jug.
Why haven't you tried that before?
I've never won it before. I've never won it. I've never been the best golfer in the Open Championship. But Ryan Fox found out that it's actually not that easy to fly with the oldest trophy in golf. You know, Ryan Fox won the Open two weekends ago. And he had to fly from Manchester to London's Heathrow and then out again from Heathrow back home to New Zealand. And he talks about, we're going to play this audio clip here for you, his struggles of getting all of his gear onto an airplane, which he still has to follow the rules of any regular passenger, right? You're only allowed one carry-on item. You got to store it in the overhead bin. Well, he was able to somehow get the gate agent to let him check an extra bag to bring it with him so he wouldn't have to check the Claret Jug down into, storage like everything else. This is a phenomenal story. Listen to Ryan Fox.
I think everybody's seen the picture of you on the airplane trying to jam the Claret Jug into the overhead bin. Was this ever something that was considered as a pink tag item that might have been gate checked?
It was an interesting Monday. I had no sleep. So trying to deal with it all, figure out what I was going to do with these things, trying to get them through the airport. Like, they gave me two of them. Like, I've got the replica, I've got the real one, obviously, which is behind me. We'd had the conversation just before I left. Like, you probably should try to just get these on the plane. Like, my agent, my coach were like, don't check them, man. Like, that's bad. You don't want to be that guy that, like, randomly loses the Claret Jug. I meekly got up to the check-in agent with these two boxes and go, so yeah, I've got some like special cargo here. Like, is there any chance I can just take these on the plane? I've got my TrackMan, I've got my backpack, like I've got a suitcase, golf bag, like I'm all over the place. She goes, what's in it? Like, it's a Claret Jug, the oldest trophy in golf. Did you win it? I'm like, yeah. Can I just take it through? She's like, yep, no problem. Take it through security, get a few questions here and there. A couple of people did recognize me. It did make it a little bit easier getting through. And as I walked to check in, Cam Young's in front of me in the line to check in. So, like, I feel a little bit guilty as it is walking in there with that. We get on the plane and I'm holding everyone up, trying to figure out how they fit overhead and jamming them in. And being a dad, you're really conscious of that stuff because you hate holding people up on a plane, trying not to whack people with my backpack at the same time. And I was a mess. And then when we got off the plane, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to hold everyone up. Let's just wait till everyone gets off and I can do this peacefully. So I waited for everyone to get off the plane. It was pretty cool. Like half the plane said well done on the way out. That did make it a little easier.
First of all, you said that the golfer that won the 3M, you're a fan of his now because he went fishing. I'm a fan of Ryan Fox's because he realized that with all the stuff he was carrying with him, he was being a hindrance to other people on the plane. So instead of jumping up and saying, I just won the Open Championship, I need to get all my stuff together and I need to get off this plane first, he said, you know what? I'm just going to sit back and chill and be the last one off the plane.
So this guy doesn't have a private jet?
Guess not.
I mean, like, is he flying like Delta, American Airlines? You're telling me he wins a major championship and is hopping on a commercial flight back?
Rich people stay rich by not spending all their money on frivolous things like a private jet.
Rich people have private. I mean,
his career earnings are just over $20 million.
Okay. So he's not like private jet.
He's rich, but he's not like crazy rich. I mean, even T-Pain.
But you can rent a private jet. I've seen commercials for it.
No. Even like T-Pain takes commercial flights because he realizes that renting out a private plane is too damn expensive.
I mean, I guess, but you would just think somebody who wins a major, they're getting on a plane with Billy and Ann who smell like Taco Bell and just, are trying to go on a family vacation with their little bleep head. I mean, that's crazy to me. But there's Shane Barrett, by the way. Shane popping in about golf, talking about what does this have to do with Auburn? Did he go to Auburn? The guy that won yesterday? I didn't know that.
Did he?
Well, of course, evidently.
Oh, yeah, Jackson Coyven. I think that's how you say it. Jackson
Coyven.
Coyven.
Yeah, I think
went
so.
to Auburn. That's interesting.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's fact check. Yeah, he did.
Okay,
he did.
How about that?
Come on, Shane. Always find a
Go
way
Tigers,
to get Auburn
War
into here.
Eagle. You guys can't figure out what your mascot is. So
21 years old. Is that right? The guy who won it yesterday?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Oh, excuse us. He won 2 national championships at Auburn. How do we, as Sports Talk radio hosts, not know that Jackson Coyven won 2 national championships at Auburn?
Did he win it as a Tiger or an Eagle? That's
Both.
what I want to know.
So that is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid's he's legit.
So he it's a struggle. It's a struggle because he had these things in these hard metal cases with rolly wheels on them, like a small suitcase. He's got to do 2 of these things because the claret jug, gets passed from winner to winner every year. So he gets to keep the replica and he gets to hold on to the real thing for a year. You would think that there would be some like high-end courier service that would
ship
these things just ship it. Never have to be in his, because that's a pain. That's a pain. Getting all this
Flying's
stuff
tricky,
on.
man. It's tricky. I like I told you, I've flown with a firearm one time, and it was the most easy thing I'd ever done. I
Yeah.
got lucky.
Yeah,
I
you
got
just
lucky.
Walk up to the gate agent and say, "Hey, I'm flying with a firearm.
It was
Where is
easy.
it? It's locked in a box inside my bag." Okay, they take it back into the room. They check it out. They just came around the corner and gave me a thumbs up. Like, okay, see you
Good
later.
to go. Now, we did have a little bit of sticky situation a couple months ago. We were doing a job. My company, the guy that works for me, Diesel, was doing a job in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we ran into that same situation that Fox ran into. We had a big access control panel. Well, we thought about shipping it to the job site in Pennsylvania, but that's high. I mean, high as you know what. So we said, hey, we're just going to fly with it. Not me. It was the guy, Joey, who works for me. I said, Joey, just fly with it. It'll be fine. It's a lot. Wire it up, program it at your house, fly with it. That way, when you get the job site, it's done. Well, I get a phone call. Do you know what this thing looks like when it's wired up? No, not really. I mean, you're the technician here. Freaking out.
That's funny.
You're putting me on an airplane with an access control system, this big panel, right? With all these wires and all these lights, and he's freaking out. This is like 4 months ago. This looks like a bomb. This looks like a bomb. Needless to say, no issues.
Right on through.
No issues.
How about
no
that?
issues. Those have you seen the movie? Speaking of, while we're on this subject, you're a movie guy, and I will drop a movie, my one movie reference for the year that I drop. You do about one a week. I'll do one a year. The movie where Jason Bateman has the kid put the earphone in at the airport and tries to get the bomb through. Have you seen that?
Jason Bateman puts
Jason
like an earpiece.
You know
in it?
Jason Bateman,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
It's such a good movie, and you would like it, I think. It's called Carry On.
I can't say as I
You've
saw
never seen
Carry
it?
On.
I finally, for the first time,
2024.
the first time in 3 years of this show, this is breaking news. Hold on a minute. Stop the press. I've seen a movie that you hadn't seen. This is the first time ever?
But this movie came out 2 years ago when no one was going to see stuff. Was this? It's a straight to Netflix movie. It didn't even make it in theaters.
But you know what? No, it's an incredible.
It's not a
movie.
real movie. I feel like if a movie just goes straight to
No,
Netflix,
no.
that means it's content. It's content when it goes straight to Netflix.
I'll tell you this, and you may not like it, but I loved it.
I like Jason Bateman a lot. I'm going to go watch this.
Oh, Jason Bateman's great.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman's great. I mean, how do you not like Jason Bateman?
He's great.
He is just awesome. So this guy, not to spoil it, he's trying to get something similar on, puts a bug in this guy's ear and
tells him what to say. I guess.
It's tough. It's tough. It's a good movie though. It's called Carry On.
Speaking of problems, Cole, our Lucas Glover, maybe your Lucas Glover, since you're such a hardcore Clemson homer, Clemson's Lucas Glover got into a little bit of a troubling situation at the 3M this weekend. Golfer Michael Kim and a couple of other players apparently complained to officials that someone was leaving spike marks on the greens in the tournament. And Lucas Glover, they found out it was him because he was wearing spikes and he took his spikes off to go pick up his golf ball. So he putted one in from like 6 feet. He walks over to the edge of the green, takes his spikes off, walks back over in sock feet, and grabs his ball. Now, in interviews after the fact, he's like, man, I've been playing on this tour for 23 years. Everybody wore spikes 23 years ago. It's a new thing that people have a problem with spikes. but I guess he was using his toe with the spikes on it to like tamp down a spot on the green. And Michael Kim and some other golfers, they had a hard time with it. So they came after Lucas.
So he went barefoot?
It was sock feet.
Socks.
Yeah.
I think he should have went all the way out. Just go ahead and take him out. Get the dogs out. I mean, I'm serious. He should have just went ahead and said, screw it. I'm going completely bare. I mean, it does feel like sometimes golf's a little
That's ridiculous.
little iffy with these rules. You know what I mean?
Like-
just sometimes it's
I've got 2 pairs of golf shoes. I have one pair that are spikeless. They're basically just tennis shoes. And then I've got some ones with like plastic spikes on the bottom.
which ones are you wearing Thursday when you go play birdies with Beamer?
Oh, probably spikeless just because they're more comfortable.
You don't want to get fussed at by Beamer either.
Right.
No
exactly.
spikes on my golf course.
Yeah. Who do you think you are?
I can't wait to hear what we'll do that probably on Wednesday, but what your game plan is for your golf strategy.
Don't embarrass myself.
Have they sent out who your pairings yet or not?
Not yet.
Ooh, I can't wait to see.
I don't know
your
if I'll know this until Thursday morning.
I don't know. I think we should get some leaked information.
Tea time is noon.
Noon. They moved it up, right?
Yeah.
They're going to have good weather, though. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot on
Yeah.
Thursday. Take your. Are you allowed to drink out there or no?
Allowed to? Maybe not. Gonna? Yeah, probably. I mean, why do they put all those extra pockets on a golf bag if you're not supposed to put beers in them?
I can't wait to see who your pairings are with. I cannot wait. Hopefully, it's like Phil Kornblut or something. Well, we'll see.
All of our Tolos are going to be tweeting at Shane Beamer, tagging him, saying Diesel's been talking junk about you on the air.
I can't wait to see who your pairings are. Final segment of Hour 3 next.
Cole Bryson on the Fan Upstate.
Diesel, we hadn't had a chance to touch on this yet, but weird, interesting news that I believe broke over the weekend regarding the Carolina Panthers. We talked about this last week. Just devastating news for Panthers linebacker Nick Scorton after a season-ending ACL tear last week. Well, now the NFL Players Association is investigating the Carolina Panthers linebacker, or they're investigating the Panthers. He went down on the first day of training camp, and because the injury happened so quickly in the camp, within the mandatory 5-day acclimation period, the union has started the investigation. Diesel, are you worried if you're the Carolina Panthers here, or do you have nothing to hide?
I hope you have nothing to hide. I mean, what exactly was he doing when he got injured? Did somebody at the Panthers not know the rule? Did somebody at the Panthers say, screw that rule, we need to get an early start? I don't know. This is
acclimation period
good.
Is what it's called, by the way.
It's not good. I hope that he got injured in a way that doesn't screw the team, because that would be screwing the team twice.
Yeah, you know what? Look, the reality is things happen. ACL tears happen. So, look, this mandatory 5-day acclimation period, teams should be technically, according to what's written, teams should be easing players into training camp so as to avoid major injuries like this. The current collective bargaining agreement does not allow live contact for the first 5 days of camp and does not allow on-field activities other than running and conditioning. It's unclear what punishment the team could face if a violation of the CBA rules can be found. As you heard during the Sports Flash, the Panthers are cooperating. A team spokesperson told Charlotte's Observer Mike Kay. Let's see the quote from Tommy Tremble, Panthers tight end. It was really just unfortunate. He's a really, really good player. What happened was just a freak accident, and I feel so bad for the kid because he worked his butt off this offseason. And I think this was going to be his best year yet. I don't think this was anything on anyone's tempo. Everyone just trying to get better every day. It was just an unfortunate thing to happen at practice. It kind of sucked the life out of us when we saw it happen. And I talked about that last week. For the players and the fan base to have a start to training camp where a young linebacker Diesel goes down with an ACL. You talk about, just a brutal start for them.
Yeah, I don't believe in bad luck, but it is bad luck, right? To have that be the first thing that you think of for the season. It's like you cannot afford to start a season with injuries right out of the gate. You need everybody healthy.
And this guy had 47 total tackles, 5 sacks last season as a rookie. He was selected number 51 overall last summer out of Texas A&M, and he was set to be a significant piece alongside the new pass rusher that they acquired or drafted in Jalen Phillips. So it's tough. How do you feel that? What do? Do they look in free agency once that? I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough injury. And we'll see what the GM, Dan Morgan, and the Panthers decide to do.
I wonder what kind of information they're going to have to turn over to the Players Association or to the NFL.
Yeah.
Video of
I'm sure
of practice,
video, right?
An itinerary, like a log of what the coach's plan was for each session or the session where this injury occurred. I can't think that Dan Morgan doesn't know the rules and they're out there hitting each other.
I don't think so either. No, I look, it's sports. Accidents happen. You can walk down these stairs right here and pull a hamstring. You just never know.
Yeah, now that I'm, into my 40s, it's more likely than ever. Cole, speaking of unfortunate accidents or unfortunate things happening, it seems like there's a rash of unfortunate things happening across college football. There's weird stuff happening in Chapel Hill. There's really terrible things happening in Tuscaloosa. And, we're not quite sure what's going on in Ann Arbor. We'll talk about all of it next.